good week one as Arch touchdown in the open. A slow start for Orlando. He started 1 for 7 for 16 yards, but he caught fire late, trying to dump it off over the middle, but it was incomplete for Akeem Hunt. So Arch, let's meet Garrett Gilbert out of Austin, Texas, played at Texas, then SMU.
Well, it was a slow start last week in their first couple of drives, but what I loved about the Apollos offense, and really Gilbert, is when Steve Spurrier started to open things up and they went down the field, he really did a nice job of spreading the ball and getting it to all of his different wide receivers and running backs.
He certainly did. Finished the game with 227 yards through the air. Gilbert's got plenty of time over the middle again. This one reeled in and caught. It's Jalen Marshall, who had a big week last week, and he makes the grab there, bringing up third down.
You're going to see this play over and over again. This is called mesh, where they get a shallow crosser with a pick coming from the other side. And here, two short routes, 2 routes under 6 yards. The first 2 throws of the game, the ball was behind the wide receiver. I think, much like it was in last week's game, Gilbert has to settle down a little bit, make the sure throw, and make sure his receivers can get their hands on the ball and run after the catch.
Big third down here early on, first possession of the game. 3rd and 6 for the Apollos. Gilbert taking a shot at him and wide open, and he overthrew Marshall. He had him at the 50-yard line and just airmailed that one. A little too much steam on that ball.
Yeah, pay attention to Gilbert's feet as this ball goes over the top of Marshall, but in the pocket, holds the ball a little bit, and he kind of threw with his weight back. That means the ball was going to sail on Marshall, and that was a big opportunity to pick up their first down of the game.
Steve Spurrier wearing the mic. Both coaches are. The quarterbacks are as well. Greg Ward Jr., the former Houston star, takes it from the 31. And about a 6-yard return by Ward. He was forced out of bounds by Scott Orndorff. So a minute gone by, and Gilbert and the offense couldn't get anything done, so it's Logan Woodside's shot, the former Toledo Rocket, the starting quarterback for the 2nd straight week here at him.
Thought Woodside really played a nice game, and you look at his numbers, he was less than 50%, but that also included 3 or 4 drops last week. When they needed to make a play last week in the 3rd quarter, he delivered, and I expect the same thing from Woodside here today.
3rd round pick in the Alliance quarterback draft.
Bingo shot!
Logan Woodside into the breadbasket of Kenneth Farrow. Farrow started last week. He had the first touchdown in franchise history, a 3-yard run over right tackle with 14:56 remaining in the game.
When you look at this roster, I think the Commanders have a pretty good stable of backs. Farrow is the #1 back, but also David Cobb, the big bruiser from the University of Minnesota. And I thought watching Aaron Green, #22, when he had a chance to carry the ball last week, looked extremely explosive.
Aaron Green, the hometown product.
Bingo shot!
Attended TCU in his college days. Woodside taking a look, he's got plenty of time. Throw, catches made over the middle, stretching to try to get midfield was Greg Ward Jr. Mike Riley raved about him. He was a quarterback in Houston, a wide receiver. He can do a little bit of everything.
And the same concept we talked about from the Apollos, the shallow cross, and really excited. I think this is a perfect league for a guy like Greg Ward. Obviously, talked about his experience playing quarterback at the University of Houston, but a guy that hasn't played a lot of snaps at wide receiver, a chance to get live reps against great competition as he tries to improve his craft.
He was with the Philadelphia Eagles on their squad, their practice squad through their Super Bowl run. Dumped off here. This is Farrow. Farrow puts his shoulder down, and Farrow still on his feet. What a run by Kenneth Farrow as he took out Copeland.
The communication has to be on point. We're going to get a motion to this side, and then Farrow is going to leak out to the flat. You see what the motion does? It causes traffic, and therefore the defensive back out there, #21, he can't get over the top. Farrow is wide open, and then that's how you finish a run.
Yeah, there's a challenge flag out because of that knee that clearly touched the ground. Challenge flag out at the 43-yard line on the far side of the field. And there's the head ball coach who threw it out, Steve Spurrier, 73 years old. 3 months removed from back surgery. As we look back here, Arch.
Really nice job finishing that run. Obviously, you see that knee is down, but these running backs, both Kenneth Farrow and David Cobb, big running backs, and Farrow sits 5'9", 220 pounds at that center of gravity.
Hang on with me a second, because I'm going to get a placement for you. All right, we have contact with a knee down at the 40. So at the Orlando 40, knee down with ball. Time on the clock is 12:39 at that point, and then you're going to wind because he's in bounds. So 12:39, reset the clock to 12:39 and wind. And then we are going, no, we're not going to reset the clock. Forget that. No clock reset, James.
No clock reset?
No clock reset, but we are going to put the ball at the 40.
At the 40-yard line.
It's going to be on the Orlando hash, and it's going to be first down at the 40.
Okay, thank you.
And they don't. And
So,
they do not get charged for timeout.
Jimmy Oldham, our replay official. Among the many things, Arch, the Alliance is doing with no kickoffs, you got to go for 2. I love that feature.
Hey, just like
After review, the runner was down by contact at the 40-yard line. Orlando will not be charged a timeout. It'll be first and 10 from that spot.
Ben, just like any successful relationship, sometimes you just need to talk things out a little bit.
Yeah.
The more you talk things out, the more you clear it up.
Yep. What do you think of that, the way they're doing it here in the Alliance with the replays and mics and hearing what they're saying?
I'll tell you what, the replay official better be ready for prime time, because for the first time, you're on TV, big guy, and
That's
so
right.
You got to get this thing right. But I think the fans love it. I think getting access and getting insight to the process, I think is a good thing for the league.
So first and 10
Bingo shot.
from the 40-yard line. Woodside to Moore. Alonzo Moore still on his feet, stretching. And Copeland made the tackle there after he got ran over on the last one. Who are we watching out for offensively for the Commanders?
Well, we already saw it right there. Alonzo Moore, number 19, had huge catches last week. All of his catches for first down, 78 yards. And Terrence Garvin, maybe the defensive star of the entire Alliance Football League, had the great pick six last week and had 11 tackles. He will figure to be all over the field.
And Moore with 3 for 78 yards last week in the victory. As Aaron Green gets it this time. San Antonio product. Attended Madison High School here in San Antonio. Going to be third and very short inches. Opening possession here for the Commanders of San Antonio. Orlando got the ball first and to punt it away.
Hey, ice.
Be tough to quarterback sneak with this defensive alignment.
He tries it. Does Woodside. And it looks like they've got it. They do have it. And referee James Carter saying they've got it.
Well, this is stacked up right here, so I like how Woodside takes it and looks for the open gap. Don't try and go where there's defensive players. Look at what the defense is giving you and run the quarterback sneak to the open gap. So that is good awareness at the line of scrimmage for Woodside to pick up that first down.
Here we go.
So first and 10, they've got perfect balance right now. 6 plays, 3 and 3 each way through the air. Now 4 through the air. Throw, catch, and it's Greg Ward Jr. with a reception. Well, we got a chance here, Arch. Let's now look at setting the table for the game with at home.
Well, Apollos, you got to protect yourself. We already saw the Commanders with 6 sacks last week coming from all levels of the defense. I think for the Commanders, continue to crank up that run game. I really think you have a good stable of backs, and you can really go at this Orlando Apollo defense with a balanced attack.
Here we go.
Pick up a 1 on the play to Ward. Here's Woodside.
Bingo shot.
Drafted originally by Cincinnati in the NFL, Kenneth Farrow. He's running, turning and burning good. Northrup on the tackle for Orlando. 3rd down and short coming up.
Yeah, left guard Cyril Richardson has some NFL experience, and this is a great zone block. Watch how he just washes the defensive line down, and that what gives the running back, Farrell, that vertical seam to be able to square up his shoulders and finish with a physical, powerful run.
So 3rd and a yard this time. Woodside kept it last time. The Commanders 2 for 2 and make it 3 for 3 as Farrell gets the rock in the pile, pushes forward another 5 yards. Outstanding work up front by Mike Riley's guys.
Yeah, we just talked about the left guard, Richardson. Watch both of these tight ends.
Yeah.
Double tight end set, and look at the push you get by number 85 and number 88. What a great block by Cam Clear, number 85, to seal off that linebacker. The Commanders utilizing a great short yardage rushing attack here. What a drive for Mike Riley's offense to start off this game.
Yeah, you saw Evan Rodriguez, the other tight end. He came off the field. And on to that block, and a ton of room here, and toward the goal line is Farrell, and they say touchdown! Kenneth Farrell takes it in as San Antonio draws first blood here in the Alamo Dome.
A great zone rushing attack. Number 59 goes upfield for the Apollos. That's going to be Earl Okine. He's going to play the quarterback on his own read, and that's what opens up the cutback for Farrell to go up and over the top in what looks to be a touchdown. Wow, what a rushing performance on that drive to start it up for the Commanders. Mike Riley has to be extremely pleased with what he just saw.
Yeah, 6 rushes for 38, but that is not a good sign as Farrell went up and came down very hard. They tend to Kenneth Farrell. Will take a timeout in San Antonio.
Come on, Carol. Hawaii, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice. That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Well, that's a good sign there, Arch, as Farrell comes off. The product of the University of Houston had their first touchdown. Apparently, he's the only guy that scores touchdowns for him. He's got both of their touchdowns this season.
4 rushing attempts for Farrell, 33 yards with that 15-yard touchdown. Great start to this game.
Indeed it was. Capped the 10-play, 59-yard drive.
This
side 4 of 4.
This, Ben, my favorite change, and they have to adopt this. You have to go for 2. Get the kickers out of the game.
David Cobb comes in. Cobb's got it, trying to plow his way in there, and I don't think he got there. He didn't. Orlando does the job up front with that push there, and they keep him well out of the end zone. A yard short, Arch.
Let's go back to this touchdown.
Let's
the outside rush. Watch how that just opens up the lane. Earl Okine goes upfield to play the quarterback. He's got to squeeze that thing down. And then you see the left block from the tackle, Jared Jones-Smith. There's no linebacker, there's no safety that can support it. And then Farrell is able to get downhill and get that nose over the end line for the touchdown.
Well done by Mike Riley's offense. That was one of the biggest things he said to us, Arch. We've got to be better in the red zone, and they were great in the red zone there. Akeem Hunt is the back next to Garrett Gilbert. Here we go. Akeem Hunt's got it. He's going nowhere fast. He didn't gain a yard. Didn't gain anything. Matt Godin, product of the University of Michigan in Novi, Michigan, made the stop there. Our Sky Camp today is brought to you by Wheels Up. Second possession here for Garrett Gilbert in the Orlando offense. Gilbert 1 of 3 thus far. Gilbert down the middle and broken up. Charles Johnson, the intended target, broken up by Devontae Bowsby.
Boy, that was tight coverage.
Yeah,
Devontae Bowsby running with the inside breaking route. If Bowsby just turns his head, he is in great position. If he just has confidence to turn his head, he's going to get an interception. That's the next step. Once you're in position and once you're in phase, turn and look for the football and make a big play.
Bowsby had a pick last week in their Week 1 win. Gilbert, nobody's open now, throws, and it's incomplete. And the Commanders' defense in command right now as they bring up another punting situation. And Austin Larkin getting a piece of that ball on the way out.
It's just man-to-man coverage. And watch the secondary. Everybody is covered up. There is nowhere for Gilbert to throw the football. A really good job up front in protection, but nobody is getting the separation. And for the Commanders' defense, this secondary, who was excellent a week ago, are starting the game the same way and shutting down this Apollo passing attack.
And Turk on the punt again. Greg Ward Jr. lets it bounce, called for the fair catch. With 7:04 to go in the opening quarter. San Antonio, one drive, a touchdown behind Woodside and Company. They've got it when we come back. Six 0 San Antonio on top in their first drive. Arch, it was a thing of beauty for the Commanders.
Well, you talk about balance, and they did a great job mixing in the run of the pass. A lot of short passing, which featured giving the ball to their playmakers. And then it was Kenneth Farrow who started the game with 4 touches, 33 yards, including that touchdown. So the Commanders going to a zone rushing attack up front. Their offensive linemen getting great push, and their running backs, namely Farrow, is making the right reads and aggressively running through the line of scrimmage.
Aaron Green will start this series next to Woodside in the backfield, the running back. And flags fly before the snap even goes.
12 men in the formation. Defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
All right, Alamo Commander.
Steve Spurrier's defense, guilty of the illegal formation. So a 1st and 5 upcoming here to begin the drive for San Antonio.
They like this formation, using their tight end as a lead blocker, number 88 right now. He's in the wing.
Near the breadbasket of Aaron Green. Green trying to get outside. Great pursuit. Outstanding work getting there was Anthony Moten all over him.
Well, Steve Spurrier's offense got a lot of publicity last week for putting up 40 points, but we can't overlook this defense because they had an outstanding game last week, holding the Legends to 224 yards total offense, and they've really got some big-time playmakers in the front. So this is, I know it was a great drive to start the game for the Commanders, but this is a very good defense, and offensively they've got to stay consistent.
Bingo, shot!
See what Woodside does here on 2nd and 8. Loads and fires, taking a shot! And coming up with a catch, DeMarcus Ayers with a beautiful grab. Pulled it in with one hand.
Wow, what a beauty from Ayers. The coverage cannot be any better. Unbelievable. Mark Myers Jr. in the slot. Great body position. The ball placement from Woodside was incredible, and then the one-handed effort. I think that's the one thing you love to see, these wide receivers finishing the great catch.
DeMarcus Ayers, a product of the University of Houston and Lancaster, Texas. Woodside, another good-looking ball, but that one's too high and incomplete on 1st down as he looked there for McHale. And couldn't get it. Reeser on the coverage.
Well, Keith Reeser had a standing game last week, just completely locked it down. He was thrown out 5 times, only gave up 2 catches for 14 yards, and was probably one of the top corners in the entire league. So their excellent coverage once again in man-to-man coverage. And now it's 2nd and 10.
He had 4 tackles as well. The young man Reeser, 30 career NFL games. Aaron Green here with a short pickup. Takes it to the 37-yard line. Third down coming up. Third and about 7. What will Mike Riley's offense do here?
Well, they've had some success running some pick concepts that have gotten their men free and their guys free in man-to-man coverage. Look for the shallow crossing routes. Well, that's certainly what I would look for if I was the Apollos, especially with this bunch set. Look for the picks to try and free somebody up versus man coverage.
3 of 3 on third down. Woodside trying to increase it, and the catch made. The stretch, did he get it? It was Ayers again, and DeMarcus Ayers with 2 big grabs on this drive, and they move the sticks.
Oh, this is a close one. Watch the reach. A pick, and yeah, he just gets that nose over the line. No, it looks like it might be a little short. The right foot goes out of bounds, I think, before the nose of the football crosses the line to gain, and that might be worth the challenge. That would bring up 4th and inches, so it would be tough, but close call.
So they play on 1st and 10. Woodside hands off to David Cobb. Big, thick, tough customer out of the University of Minnesota. And good pickup there on 1st down for Cobb and the Commanders.
Love this one-on-one collision. We talked about number 51, Garvin. He's their best linebacker, and Cobb, the big bruiser from Minnesota. One-on-one, and you see how powerful Cobb is in the hole. Just keeps that big body going and runs over Garvin.
Rush for nearly 2,900 yards in his career at Minnesota in 4 years. Gets it here again, and good push there by Orlando. They were ready for that one. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4 as he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's what I like so far about the Commanders on offense, using this zone running scheme. Up front, they're doing a really good job of handling the front 4 and allowing their running backs to get one-on-one with linebackers. And so far, the running backs are able to fall forward and pick up those yards.
Cobb and Farrell have done that.
Another bunch formation, Ben, looking to get some pick routes to free their guys. They've had success throwing to the outside and the flats in these formations.
4 of 4 on third down. Woodside wanted to go there, takes off, and slides in safely as Woodside picks up the 1st down to the 15-yard line.
Really smart play. Watch how it just opens up. Nobody's open. And Woodside, with the athletic ability not to try and force something down the field, sees that everybody is in man-to-man coverage. There's nobody assigned to the quarterback, so he picks the right lane, gets upfield, and picks up the 1st down one more time. Boy, the Commanders, who were 50% last week on third down, are continuing to dominate this down here in the first 2 drives of the game.
Pickup of 8 on that run by Logan Woodside. Set all kinds of records in his days at Toledo. Flags fly here.
12 players in the formation against the defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, that's the 2nd time that's been called against Bob Sanders' defense.
Can't get a step on it.
Apollo's having a hard time with their substitution patterns right now and really on their heels. Right now, not a lot of answers for Bob Sanders' defense. They've got to figure out third down. San Antonio in this game is 5 for 5 on their third down conversions.
Timeout's been taken by San Antonio. With 1st and 5 upcoming. Logan Woodside's been very sharp in this one. The Alliance of American Football app is #1 in both the Google and Apple stores, and if you download it now, there are all sorts of Easter eggs hidden in it. Let's take a look.
For the first time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity. Truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available in the App Store and Google Play today.
2:17 remaining here in the opening quarter. 6-0 San Antonio on top. That's the story of the game so far, Arch, and third down for San Antonio. They're perfect.
Come on.
David Cobb lined up behind Logan Woodside, under center on 1st and 5 from the 10. Coming around to the near side with it. And it's Alonzo Moore, who made a bunch of plays last week, and he helps them out there with a decent pickup.
But it could have been a lot worse. I thought that was a really good job by the right cornerback. We've already said his name once, number 29, Keith Reeser.
Yep.
And he's the guy that kind of stays outside. He draws it out a little bit, and that's what allows Earl O'Kine, the defensive end, to be able to chase from inside out and limit the game. Great opportunity right here on 2nd and 1 to run a little play action or maybe get some bootleg action to catch the defense off guard.
Woodside, quick throw! Touchdown, but it was dropped and should have been caught by big play McKay, who was big last week. McKay just didn't hang on to it.
Well, the leading target from a week ago runs a great route. He gets all the separation that he needs. And that's about all you can ask for. Perfect ball placement and right through the hands. That's the one thing that we've seen a lot of in the last 2 weeks here in this league. Receivers have to do a better job of finishing the play and catching the ball when it's thrown at their hands.
Another third down. San Antonio perfect. Cobb's got it. They continue to be perfect as he gets it inside of the 5-yard line, setting up a 1st and goal with 85 seconds and counting to go in the quarter.
Well, really, initially, that was a heck of a job from the defensive tackle, Josh Banks, number 92. Watch number 92 come through the middle of your screen. He gets off the block, but there's the power right there from Cobb. You've got to bring your body. You've got to get full 100% body contact. You throw that shoulder or an arm in there, and Cobb's going to run right through it.
He is a big young lad, 5'11" and 228.
Watch the tight end as the lead blocker, number 88, coming to the right.
Rodriguez, well played at Ryan Woodside. That's broken up, dangerous throw. There's your guy again there, Arch Reeser with a pass break up there, nicely done.
Oh, what a reaction. Reeser, outside leverage. The ball comes behind, and that's because you see Will Hill, he is hunting. He reads the eyes of Woodside, and he knows the slant is coming. Woodside has to put that on the back of his wide receiver. A dangerous pass, but really well played by the Apollo secondary.
Outstanding work. 2nd and goal now. Cobb remains in as the running back with Logan Woodside. Woodside throws it up there, and there's a flag. Coming away with the ball is Hill, who you just mentioned, Arch, but there is a flag, so we'll check the marker first.
They keep running their quick game. Everything is going to Woodside's left. And that's where the Apollo's best corner resides, number 29, Keith Reeser. You've got to try and attack the other side of the field, because right now, as was the case last week, Reeser is all over it. And did Will Hill get his body down in bounds? He gets one leg, and then the hand goes out of bounds. I don't know if that's going to be an interception.
Pass interference. Defense, number 29. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. 1st down.
Well, there's the answer, Arch. So Reeser called for PI. Here's a look back.
Let's take a look. Reeser, good position, staying square, gets his hands on the receiver. Some hand fighting right there, and for my taste, Ben,
yes,
I think that's good coverage with two guys battling in the red zone, and I wouldn't call the PI. You do see the left hand grab some jersey, but remember, that's magnified in slow motion. These are professional athletes moving at high speed. I love the aggressive coverage by Reeser, and I wouldn't change a thing.
On 1st and goal, that was David Cobb. And a good job, a good push up front by that front of Orlando. Bob Sanders talked about how much he likes that group up front. They have been unable to get the job done on 3rd down to this point. It's 2nd and goal upcoming.
That's the 2nd time so far in this game, Ben. Number 92, Josh Banks, the defensive tackle out of Wake Forest, has really dominated up front and found himself in the backfield. So far in this game, he is more physical than the guy that he is lining up against and doing an outstanding job.
2nd and goal.
backs going to the flat.
They're trying the right side, like you said they should. Until they go to the air, and it's Evan Rodriguez. The tight end springs open, and he's got a San Antonio touchdown to make it 12-0.
Man, anytime you get a tight split by the receivers with an offset back, you've got to know that they're going to run a pick, and they're going to try and take advantage of the linebacker, run the back, in this case, the H-back, the tight end Rodriguez to the flat. And this is a concept in this game so far that the Apollos do not have an answer for. Pick routes to the flat have won every single time against this defense.
So here's the try for two. If you're watching the Alliance for the first time, you have to go for two. There's no point afters. No more PATs in this league. Woodside throws it away. And that's the end of the quarter. So about the only thing San Antonio hasn't done well is the two-point play. And aside from that, they've been great.
And they've been great in short yardage situations in the field of play. But the two-point play, it's a tough play. And instead of a team going into a game with maybe 2 or 3 of their best, they're going to have to develop maybe 8 or 9 good two-point plays in the course of a game in this league.
Defense number 27. Half the distance. We'll replay the try.
So Marquez White, the guilty one there for Steve Spurrier's defense. So they'll try it again here.
Hey, hip right, 42 Trojan, Charlie, I'm being ready.
They're going to call Marquez White for holding,
hey,
but when the quarterback is outside the pocket, you're allowed to throw the receiver down, so that might have been a tough call there on White.
Here's the try for two. They give it to Farrow right in his bread basket, and he gets in! Farrow, ball came out. No, the ball came out, they're saying.
The runner fumbled the ball prior to crossing the goal line. The try is no good. That's the end of the first half.
Copeland got a piece of it on the way out.
Good hit right on the thigh board, and that was Josh Banks, number 92, who has been all over the field, this time an inside pursuit. You see him get that left hand, knock the ball out of there, and tough to say with that angle, but he's going to save his football team 2 points.
Well, 12-0 our score. That's the end of the opening quarter here in San Antonio between two undefeateds. Great to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. You're watching the Alliance of American Football on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
Expectations are sky high. The atmosphere is sure to be electric.
So check it.
Well, here we go. We're underway. Nice pass.
What a move that was.
He can beat you in a lot of ways. Dynamite. Oh, geez. Whoa, it's going to slam. Woo. Leaving it all out there. Whoa, what a shot. That's great college basketball.
Yeah.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 monthly premiums or $0 deductibles. Call now. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-558-7165. That's 1-800-558-7165.
Technical question. Is this fella golfing? This fella right here? Does he appear to be golfing to you? Is that golf?
That's not golfing.
Correctamundo. That's not golf. That's a bunch of malarkey. Trying to get a hold of his knucklehead buddies, seeing if they're going to make the tee time, when he should have just busted out golf book, zip, zap, zoop, bop. You book it. You confirm the foursomes. None of this malarkey. You don't need it in your life. Life is hard. Mortgage, kids, gluten, etc. That's Fred talk.
Here, the crowd is so loud you can't hear them anymore. A cowboy's safety is provided by a few good men. His fistful of rope is the only bond between man and beast. Those 8 seconds go by mighty quick in the house of PBR.
Quarter without Adam Archuleta, Ben Holden, John Schriffen down in the field with Logan Woodside. Schriff.
Oh, Ben, thank you so much, Logan. Outside of that touchdown throw, I noticed you've thrown to the left side a lot, Mikhail McKay. Was that in the game plan, or is there something you've noticed in the defense?
Yeah, just try to give my guy a chance to make a play. All of our receivers are doing a really good job, so just trying to find the best matchup and work it.
Logan, good luck the rest of the game.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
Logan Woodside, his team on top 12-0. 2 outstanding drives put together by San Antonio. They scored 15 points in week 1.
Hey, please.
And they look really good. Garrett Gilbert on for the 3rd time today. He's 1 for 5 so far, chucking it. And that's a throw, and that is a beautiful catch on the sideline. Excellent work by Rennell Hall.
Oh, did he get his feet down? Because this... to the right foot, is it dragging it, or is it off the ground? I don't know. That's going to be... I think either way, that would be a tough one to overturn.
Illegal contact. Defense number 33. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Either way, Zach Sanchez with the illegal contact. But what an important first play to be able to pick up the first down and give something for Gilbert to operate with.
Gilbert hands it off. It's Davion Smith, former Michigan Wolverine. Part of that backfield with Akeem Hunt and also Dearness Johnson in there. Ryan Green inactive today. And Gilbert, very similar start, unfortunately, for the Apollos and the head ball coaches they had in week 1, but he responded well.
And last week, the offense started to get going when they used a lot of jet motion and a lot of pre-snap motion and started throwing the ball vertically down the field.
Here's Gilbert doing just that, right on cue. Art's got him in wide open, right in the bucket, and it's caught by Charles Johnson. A strike from Garrett Gilbert, and a first down and goal.
Yeah, watch number 41, Bowsby. You've got to get out of your back pedal. He spends too much time looking back at the quarterback. He is looking at the quarterback, and at that time, Charles Johnson, who is a big, fast, athletic wide receiver, just runs right by him.
A pickup of 54 yards to the San Antonio 6-yard line. First and goal for the Apollos. Great job out up front. Bursting through there. Nowhere to go. Dion Barnes in there. Winston Craig as well.
Assignment bust up front. Winston Craig is just going to come scot-free. They're trying to pull somebody from the backside, number 75, but Craig, he's in the backfield so fast that Andrew Tiller, the left guard, doesn't have a chance to pick him up. Cannot have free access, penetration in your backfield. It will destroy your run game.
Loss of 3 remains, second and goal now. Gilbert, little fake, throws it up there, and flag comes in. The intended target was Johnson, saying he was grabbing the jersey. And we'll let our referee, James Carter, give us the verdict momentarily.
Little pigtail route outside by Charles Johnson. Watch this move where he just kind of spins out of it, and Bowsby has to grab him.
Defense number 41. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Easy one there.
So the problem is in this game for Bowsby is that he's spending too much time looking at the quarterback. And so he's losing feel from his wide receiver, and they're running right at him, and I keep going at him.
On the ground, and Orlando powers in for the touchdown. Davion Smith, game on. 12-6 now, early goings of the second quarter. And the former Wolverine powers his way in.
It's going to be a tough tackle coming in here from Davion Smith. One-on-one, tight hole. And that is no match for a safety who's coming downhill on a 230-pound running back.
Smith had the first rushing touchdown in Alliance history last week. Also had the 2-point conversion as well. He gets it again. He's going to walk it here. Goes Davion Smith. So a 12-8 game as Orlando's on the board with 12:52 remaining. They set it up with a big pass to Johnson to the 6, a 54-yard pickup. And it led to Davion Smith capping it off, 12-8 San Antonio.
Land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
Early stages of the second quarter. 12-8 lead for San Antonio on top of Orlando. One of the exciting new features in the Alliance's first season is the fresh new look team uniforms developed and provided between the Alliance and Starter. So they changed things up at least on this drive. And we're going to see Marquise Williams. Logan Woodside sitting this series out. That was something we talked with our staff about. This, so they wanted to find opportunities for him to get in the game. What do you think of the opportunity he's getting right now at this point, Adam?
Well, I think it's a changeup because you're just not used to seeing this either at the collegiate level or the National Football League.
This is Williams. Not much there. Got back to the line of scrimmage.
We just don't see starting quarterbacks come out of the game. But I think, you know, one thing that we've talked about since the inception of this league is that it is in fact a developmental league, and getting guys a chance to get some reps and guys a chance to get in there and actually develop their skills. I think Woodside has been outstanding so far in this game, but obviously Mike Riley wants to give Williams some reps.
Williams hands off on second down. It's Farrell on the carry. Let's get down to John for an update.
Well, I spoke to Mike Riley before the game specifically about that, and he said this was always the plan. Marquise has been playing so well in camp that he wanted to give these guys both a shot. So Logan's going to get every 2 series, and then the next one you'll see Marquise, and he said at halftime that's when they'll make the decision who's going to really play the bulk of the snaps for the second half.
They play 2.
Great stuff, Shrift.
Interesting.
Yeah. 3rd and 8 here for Marquise Williams. North Carolina product steps up. Now he's going to take off. He was great at running the ball and throwing it in Collins, and he picks up a huge run out to the 42-yard line. Tackle made by Will Hill. First down, Commanders.
Earlier in the game, we saw Woodside take advantage of the same thing against his defense. Everybody covered downfield, and then right up the middle versus man-to-man coverage, there's no linebackers that have eyes on the quarterback. So Williams, he's going to take the easy route. He's going to get upfield and pick up a big gain by using his legs.
15-yard gain there. The former Tar Heel. Now he's trying his arm out. That one is 5 yards past the intended target down there, as he was looking for DeMarcus Ayers, who's had a couple of nice grabs here so far today. It'll bring up second down.
Look, I understand what Mike Riley is trying to do, and he's trying to give all his guys an opportunity to get some reps, but look, this is a 12-8 ball game, and Logan Woodside is 7 for 11, 58 yards with a 107 quarterback rating. So this is a risky move for Mike Riley when his team and his offense has shown to be pretty unstoppable in the first 2 drives of the game.
No question about it. Woodside outstanding. Farrell still on his feet, man. Does he run tough? They blow it dead. They'll give him progress on the run. Going to spot him at the 48-yard line. Farrell dove in on the first drive, but came back and he looks fine.
The Commanders are going to keep working this play because number 59, Earl O'Kine, keeps getting up the field, and he's not squeezing down far enough. They're getting great push by their left tackle, Mo Porter, and Cyril Richardson, and there's too much space for the outside linebacker defensive end, O'Kine, to close that distance, and the Commanders are taking advantage of that.
O'Kine had a sack and 5 tackles last week against Atlanta. Now Williams eludes the rush, and Marquise Williams, another big pickup, and he converts on 3rd down to the 35-yard line of Orlando. And the pressure was applied by Banks, but he got away, Arch.
Well, Banks is having himself a game. Inside move, and he finds himself in the backfield one more time, splits the guard in the center, and I think there's one thing that we've been able to evaluate so far is that Williams he can run with the ball in his hand. I mean, he is making the right decision. And anytime there's somebody covered downfield, he's not forcing it, but he's using his athletic ability, and so far, he's been rewarded with big plays.
3 rushes, 32 yards. Going to try it with the arm again here. Throws it out. Catch made by Alonzo Moore, and not much doing there. Nice coverage and good work by Ladarius Gunter there for Orlando. So they lose some yardage there. Back about 3 yards they'll lose.
Well covered in the Apollo secondary. They were going with the fake screen, pump and go. But the Apollo secondary, their safety, they saw it, and that's why you saw Williams just dump it off in the flat.
You've talked about that secondary a lot today, and rightfully so. They got a lot of guys to Orlando in that back end that have played a lot of games in the NFL.
And last week they shut down the Atlanta Legends.
They did. Only allowed 6 points, couple of field goals, and that pass is off the hands there. The intended target was Greg Ward Jr. 3rd and long coming up. So Marquise Williams.
Come on, let's punch it in.
Great fan support down here in San Antonio. At almost 28,000 week 1, I'd say we're there, maybe more this week, Arch.
Yeah, and I think that they've done a good job in this building generating some noise when the Commanders have been on defense.
3rd and 13. See if Marquise Williams can convert. Play clock runs out. They took a timeout, did the Commanders?
Second charge timeout of the half, San Antonio. 30 seconds.
So let's take a listen. We've got microphones on both coaches. Let's get our Wired segment in here so far today.
Okay, let's go 3 wide, 3 wide.
3 wide. Ice, ice.
You won't see that very often. Steve Spurrier didn't have anything to say there at the end, just a sigh.
Well, that last drive was absolutely huge for his offense and for the Apollos. 5 plays, 75 yards, and a much-needed touchdown and 2-point conversion. And you see what it does now. Instead of being maybe 14-7 like a normal NFL game, the score is 12-8. So some unusual scores and some unusual strategies here in the Alliance.
Indeed. 3rd and 13, Marquise Williams trying to convert here on his first series of the game. He'll check off and he'll get it into the hands of Aaron Green. And Green's going to be short as he was dropped by Ladarius Gunter near the 32-yard line. What do you do here, Archie? Go for it? You can still kick the field goal. What do you do?
You know, I would go for this if I was Mike Riley, because you've got one thing that you know you've got in your back pocket, and that's Williams' ability to run the football. Now, it's a conservative play, and this is where, you know, the scoring and the 2-point conversions kind of come into play. So now you're going to get to 15 points and try and get to a 7-point lead, but I think I would take advantage of Williams' ability to run the football, and I would have tried to go for it.
So 50-yard attempt from Nick Rose, and Nick Rose sticks it. His 4th field goal of the season. He had 3 in week 1. And he bent that one right in there. 8:20 to go in the first half. Good one here at San Antonio between the Commanders and Orlando.
Hey guys, if you're experiencing erectile dysfunction, you can now get treated anywhere. Like here, 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 even here. Okay, maybe not there. That's why we built Roman. So it's easy to get ED meds prescribed online, delivered to your door. Just visit GetRoman.com, chat with a U.S. licensed physician, and you'll get FDA-approved medication delivered in discreet packaging. Roman, let's take care of it. Get started with your free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV.
7-point game, San Antonio, 15-8 lead after a 50-yard field goal prior to that break. Orlando coming back on. Now there's another reason to root for a high-scoring game for every touchdown scored. In every game this month, the Alliance will donate $1,000 to Team Rubicon, a veteran-led nonprofit that helps communities recover after a natural disaster. Great thing they're doing, and Garrett Gilbert comes back on. Last drive, Arch, they look like they looked last week. The first two, not so much.
It really started when they threw the ball down the field vertically. The same thing happened last week when Gilbert threw the ball in the seams and the outside fade routes is really when the offense started to get untracked.
Here goes Gilbert back to work from the 25. Takes a shot right down the middle. Beautiful ball delivered, and it's Jalen Marshall in the open field inside of the 20-yard line. Devontae Bosby, the tackle, saved the touchdown.
Beautiful read by Gilbert. He sees that there is no free safety in the middle of the field. Zach Sanchez is playing outside leverage, but the free safety, because of the run action, was nowhere to be found. Sanchez is expecting secondary support, and Gilbert makes him pay.
57-yard pickup. Gilbert, 128 yards. Play clock, they get it away. Keep it on the ground here, bring it around to the near side. Rennell Hall with the football.
You know, I keep saying it, but the same thing happened last week. As soon as they started throwing the ball downfield in their vertical passing game, their first touchdown of the season was a seam route to Jalen Marshall. But when they started to open up the offense, is really when the Apollo started to get on track. And the same thing we're seeing play out in this game, Ben.
We are. Good one brewing here in San Antonio. Great to have you with us. Week 2 of the Alliance, 2nd and 4. They keep it on the ground inside of the 10-yard line, and they'll move the chains. And on the carry there was Davion Smith. Hold it, there's a flag down. They may not move the chains.
Okay, Didi.
Holding. Offense number 63. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd down.
Trey Jackson, product of Florida State, the guilty one there.
Hey, can you at least look?
It's the left arm right there. You see the jersey pull.
Yep.
I think that's on Matt Godin, number 99, the defensive tackle. But boy, Gilbert has really liked watching him when he throws the ball downfield in the first 2 games of this season.
I'm with you. Throws a beautiful ball, does the former Mr. Football here in the state of Texas. That one, the broadcaster jinx, I suppose, as he overthrew him there, brings up 3rd and 14, Arch.
Yeah, they were trying to do, this is pretty much the exact same route that they scored their first touchdown of the season. They're running vertical seams, and they're trying to get the ball to their inside receiver, number 17, Jalen Marshall. And from watching this offense last week, anytime they get around that 30-yard line is when Steve Spurrier loves to take shots at the end zone. That time, really well defended by the Commanders' secondary.
Drive!
3rd and 14, play clock, they get it away just in time. Gilbert steps up, dumps it off over the middle. Davion Smith, can he get away? No! And Davion Smith wrapped up and dropped as it was Chase Dutra who had him first.
Really good tackle by the linebacker right there for the Commanders, and it's pretty interesting. I know Davion Smith is a better receiver than people get him credit for, but he's not a speed guy, and you'd like to see a speed running back out there on 3rd down to try and make something happen after the catch.
So here's Fry, who kicked for Steve Spurrier at South Carolina. Ben Tart the holder, and that one is true. And it's a 15-11 game now with 5:37 to go. So the head ball coach and his offense, the field goal, no touchdown, but they get points.
You wide open on the fence?
Yes, I was.
Now, Garrett, did you look at him on the fence or make up your...
I had him off just staring. I knew we had him.
Okay.
Was the fence good too?
Oh,
yeah, coach.
So great audio there, and then here's the play coming true, Arch.
Yeah, and it's too easy. When you've got outside leverage by a corner with no inside help from a safety, that's pitch and catch.
First down run from Aaron Green. Tackle, I beg your pardon, Logan Woodside's back in the game. Yeah, Green the run, Woodside back in. Orlando 6-play drive, 60 yards, 243, and they capped it off with a field goal. And as for San Antonio, well, they've been perfect when it comes to scoring points, Arch.
Yeah, look at how many plays the Commanders have been on offense. And you've got to wonder, here in the first half, and only the second game of the season, how the Apollo's defense and their conditioning is going to play a factor here for the rest of the half.
2nd and 7, Woodside to the air, it's tipped! And incomplete. Intended target there was McKay. Got tipped before it ever got to him. 3rd and 7 coming up as we got an Apollo's player slow to get up. Intend to him with 4:54 to go until halftime.
Now, it looks like that's the cornerback, Ladarius Gunter. And it might have been a case of friendly fire.
You're right, Arch.
From his linebacker mate, Reggie Northrup, who really did a nice job running from inside out to try and break up that pass, but
take a look back.
Yeah, watch number 52. We're looking at 37, but 52 comes in right there at the end and kind of hits both receiver and cornerback.
So Gunter will sit this play out. 3rd and 7. San Antonio is 8 of 9 on 3rd down thus far in the ball game.
Greg Ward in the slot might be a good chance to design something to get him the ball and do something after the catch.
Keep our eyes on him. Woodside coming this way though. Oh, dropped it in there, and Moore should have had that one. Hit him right in the hands. He knows it. And brings up 4th down, and the punt group will come on.
Boy, got to have this pushed out of bounds, and once you go out of bounds, now you can make a case that that's, defensive illegal contact, but once you go out of bounds, you cannot come inbounds and be the first one to touch the football, so that should have been a penalty called on the Commanders.
So Zima on to punt for the first time today. Dearness Johnson, high kick. Dearness Johnson, who was outstanding at this part of the game in his college days at South Florida. Trying to hang on to it. Took a beating on the run back there. A short one it was. But that's where Orlando will start with 4:35 to go. And they've come alive the last couple of drives with a touchdown and a field goal on their last possession.
I got to tell you, Garrett Gilbert and this offense down the field has really started to come alive. And one thing that, we talked about it in the pregame and at the beginning of the show here is the need to be able to protect up front because the Commanders and their ability to rush the passer. I would say so far in this game, the offensive line has really done a nice job giving Gilbert time to survey the defense and get the ball downfield. So far up front, job well done from the 5 offensive linemen.
Garrett Gilbert, 6 of 11 for 139. Trying to get rid of it, and they get him! They get him. They had 6 sacks last week. Austin Larkin gets number 1 this week.
Yeah, sometimes, watch 66, Aaron Evans. Sometimes he takes a really short set. He doesn't really kick back. So it takes a short set, and then Larkin is able to just stay with it and bend that corner. That's the one thing that really showed up on film when I studied this offensive left tackle, Aaron Evans, is he doesn't like to get that kick slide, and that's what makes that corner short for Larkin to get to the quarterback.
Product of Purdue, that'll make his uncle Barry Larkin happy. Baseball Hall of Famer, that one broken up. Good job getting a paw on that by Matt Godin. And they talked about how good they felt he played in the entire group, but he got some big accolades for last week's effort.
This is how you read the screen, coming all the way from the other side. He is not fooled one bit. They're going to run a game, but then he just sees the running back Dearness Johnson leak out, and he's almost able to undercut that thing and go the other way. So really nice awareness from Godin to break up that screen pass, and now force 3rd and 16.
0 for 2 is Orlando on 3rd down. Pressure Gilbert chucking one out there. The receiver had to wait for it, and Johnson's downfield again. And Johnson comes up. They're discussing, they're saying it's a catch. Charles Johnson played his college ball at Grand Valley State. Let's look back, Arch.
Bowsby's having a tough time right now.
Yeah.
And based on that look, it looked like he was expecting the free safety, Deron Smith, to help him over the top. That did not look like, his body language didn't look like he was in man-to-man coverage, and it looked like Deron Smith was late. Got caught looking inside, and that's where the separation was for Charles Johnson to get another big play. They have really attacked the right side of that Commander defense and had a lot of success targeting number 41.
2 for 99, the numbers for Charles Johnson catching the football today. To your point, they went deep to him twice. From 14 to 16, 39 games, 17 starts with the Minnesota Vikings. And he's going to take a play off here, but they've got it on the right side of the field if you're Orlando here for the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
And if I'm Steve Spurrier, I would keep attacking Bowsby. I'd run double moves. I'd make him work. It looks like he's tired out there, but I would keep going out there and attack him.
Gilbert taking a shot, going far side, throws it out there. Too much underneath it for Ismael Hyman. Well, too much heat on that ball from the Texas native.
Yeah, they're trying to isolate Hyman on the safety out there. And,
Nick Orr.
Excuse me, that's Nick Orr.
Yep.
And boy, Hyman just absolutely opened it up, showed some great speed, but Spurrier, I think he's sensing something, and he knows that being aggressive downfield has been his offense's best production here in the last 2 games.
No doubt about it. 2nd and 10 now.
Green turn.
Gilbert taking a shorter throw this time, but he makes the throw. They get the 1st down as Johnson's back in the game, his 3rd catch, and he's over 100 yards already in the half, Arch.
Yeah, take advantage of the large cushion. Push Bowsby up. It was a pretty good break from Bowsby, but the initial cushion is what allowed Johnson to get that separation. What I loved about Johnson is how he came out of that break. No wasted movement. He cut it sharp, came back downhill, and that's why the separation was there for Gilbert to give him the ball on the sideline.
3 for 112 for Charles Johnson catching the football. Dearness Johnson, the deep back, and Dearness Johnson gets away, use that speed. About a 4-yard pickup there on the run. Nick Temple with a stop there as the clock continues to wind towards the 2-minute warning here. They got plenty of time if they want to get one off before it.
Really all you can ask, Ben, of your running back is to break the initial first tackle. Number 96, Winston Craig, had a chance to make that tackle, and Johnson gets upfield.
Well, Gilbert was having a hard time hearing Steve Spurrier there, so they let it wind down. The 2-minute warning will be back after this.
We're family. We do anything for each other. But this time, those bonds were definitely tested.
Frog leg for my baby brother.
Don't frogs have, like, 2 legs? So they should have 2 of these? Since I'm active duty and she's family, I was able to set my sister up with a sweet membership from Navy Federal.
If you hold it closer, it looks bigger.
Eat your food.
My big sis likes to make tiny food, and I'm okay with that.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Great to have you with us here as we've reached the 2-minute warning here. A 4-point lead for San Antonio. Coming up on the Alliance All Access Halftime Report. Join Alex Flanagan, Rod Woodson, Terrell Davis, and Cynthia Freeland as they get you caught up on everything Alliance related. Must first have highlights and stats. And Arch, we go around the Alliance. How about Birmingham?
Yeah, pumping iron, Schwarzenegger style. What a nice job for Tim Lewis.
Yeah.
And then Arizona, man, it looked like they had a tough time there in the first half of that game last night, but
and the bottom,
great job.
The bottom one there, the game's Let me see that number go down. I would think as we get some games in here in the league.
And I might have a biased opinion, but I think so far this game that we're watching right here might be the most exciting game in the first 2 weeks of action here for the Alliance.
Well, I'm glad we're here. I'd like to hear that. Gilbert stands in, taking a shot, got a man out there. Perfect throw. Beautiful ball delivered to Charles Johnson. Yeah, take aim, as they say in Orlando. He is having a monster day. 7 plays, 77, Arch.
And killing the double move. This is the second double move that Johnson has hit against the Commanders, and wow, what a strike.
Yeah.
Hey, I learned a long time ago, Ben, that it takes two to make things go right, and a beautiful connection from Garrett Gilbert to Johnson again as they take advantage of this Commanders secondary outside at cornerback.
So Orlando, who was down 12-0 in this game, up by 2, trying to extend it. And whistles fly. There's a flag, or whistles go as flags fly at the 5-yard line.
Boy, how about Gilbert?
Huh. Offense 83, 5-yard penalty. Retry the down.
How about Gilbert, Ben? Started this game 1 for 5 and is now 9 for 16, 218 yards and 1 touchdown. This is one heck of a response from Steve Spurrier's offense.
He was 1 for 7 last week when he started. I mean,
they try. The short game is overrated. Let's try and throw the ball downfield.
I love it.
And make it count.
Here they go. Gilbert 2-point try. Tipped away as Jalen Marshall was the intended target there, and it remains a 2-point lead for the Apollos of Orlando. And speaking of Garrett Gilbert, let's take a look at his resume reel thus far today, Arch.
Really is taking advantage of the Commanders outside. Double move that time on Bowsby. Charles Johnson, no free safety in the middle of the field. Let's take advantage of that. And then again, let's go to the other side. Let's pick on Zach Sanchez, who had an excellent first week of the season last week. Another double move and beautiful ball placement by the quarterback, Garrett Gilbert.
And the son of Gail Gilbert spent time in the National Football League, many years in the NFL with Seattle, Buffalo, and San Diego.
Charles Johnson is having himself a day. 4 catches of 5 targets last week, 60 yards, and right now is victimizing this Commander secondary, which is one of the better secondaries in the Alliance.
A lot of experience in that back end. Woodside escapes and dumps it off, and it's caught. A big gain here out near midfield as they get it into the hands of Aaron Green for a huge pickup. There are 2 Apollo players, Okine back behind the play, and Ryan Davis collided back there.
You know, Ben, right before that last touchdown pass to Charles Johnson, I was about to say that Steve Spurrier might want to slow this thing down and make sure that they're the last offense to hold the ball before they go into halftime, not wanting to score too fast and leaving time for the Commanders. But you're never going to scoff at getting a touchdown, but the Commanders do have some time now to get this drive going and get some points going into halftime.
Here's what happened in the backfield, Arch. They collided in there, trying to get to Woodside.
Nice job by Woodside, feeling that pressure and stepping up inside the pocket and making something happen.
So they continue to tend to the 2 men that went down.
Due to an injury on the field and the clock under 2 minutes.
Ryan Davis, 95,
Orlando will be charged for the
Okine
first timeout of the half.
right there. Good to see him get back on his feet. Still tending to Ryan Davis.
You know, it's amazing. You know, they're both edge rushers, and it's amazing that you don't see that happen more often.
Yeah.
2 edge rushers coming from opposite sides and colliding in the backfield. And like we all know, we've been a part of this game. You never want to see somebody down like this on the field.
Steve Spurrier's made his way up. Davis still down, being very cautious, very careful with him. Stretcher is coming out. And we'll look one more time here, Arch, at Davis there taking the brunt of that to his head and neck, and immediately just fell back and bring the stretcher out. Ryan Davis, 6 years he spent in the NFL and played in 63 career games, and everybody holding their breath hoping he's okay. And a minute 44 to go here in the first half. Tight end Evan Rodriguez looking on for San Antonio. Both teams have come onto the field. There's everyone waiting and wondering and hoping that Davis is okay. The Orlando team on the field. Sidelines are empty. Both teams are on the field. Fans, yeah, everybody holding their breath, hoping for the best for Ryan Davis.
Well, you know, any time that it involves the head and neck and that severe, it's a lot of this is just exercising the absolute most caution that they can in hopes of not making whatever happened worse. So
as is the case, yeah, they're being very cautious. Both teams coming together here to tend to Ryan Davis. See the Apollos there in the background. Everyone off the sideline for Orlando, their entire team. And the majority of the San Antonio players are out there as well. Kenneth Farrow, touchdown today. Steve Spurrier.
The only concussion we had in the month of practice out here, the teammates ran into each other. He ran into our guy. Yeah.
Spurrier there. You heard what he had to say. Part of the great access here in the Alliance. Coaches Mike, quarterbacks Mike. Ryan Davis, 6'2" and 270 out of Tampa, Florida. Played his college ball at Bethune-Cookman, 6 years in the NFL. 63 games.
I covered him quite a bit for the Jacksonville Jaguars and was a very productive supplemental pass rusher for Gus Bradley's defense for a few years.
There from 2012 to 2015 in Jacksonville, you're referencing. National Defensive Player of the Year in his college days at the FCS level from 2008 to 2011. This all happened with a minute 44 left in the half. See the Orlando team on the left, they're huddling up and saying a prayer for their teammate Ryan Davis down on the field. They have him on the board and about to lift him up and take him in and do their testing. Eric Gilbert, Orlando Apollos on the field. Great look at it there. Very good crowd here. Obviously been silent quite some time, understandably, with this. So get him strapped onto the board and they'll lift him up collectively. All those people down there, the medical folks doing a great job. As a player, Arch, I mean, when you see that happen, it affects you whatever team you're on, right?
Well, sure it does. I mean, we all know what the risks are of playing this football game, but we go out there and we love playing it anyways. But, you know, when things like this happen, when you stop play and you see the cart come out in the stretcher, that's when the reality of the situation kind of hits and you understand that, hey, You know, you're all out there just trying to do the best that you can, but there is a consequence to playing this football game. And we all want to go out there and compete. We all want to go out there and give it our best, but you never want to see this be the result of anything.
And Orlando Apollo's around their fallen teammate right now. They'll take him in and do further testing. And Ryan Davis, a little bit of movement in his arms, so you can see him talking there as well. One of the staff members for Orlando. That's definitely a good sign right there.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
Teammates all coming in. Logan Woodside and San Antonio.
And then here in about 2 minutes, you got to start play and line up and try and get yourself ready to play. That's the most difficult part because you just see what the consequences can be of playing this football game, and then you got to get yourself and get your mind back into it to go out there and start again.
Right. Davis there, you saw him give the thumbs up on the way off, and we're thinking of you, Ryan. Hoping for the very best. So Mike Riley's team with the football inside of 2 minutes to go until halftime.
Toy right, 22 Sky, climb Chico.
What do you make of that, Arch?
Hey, Chico, I'm
Anything?
ready.
Say prime Chico?
Sounded like it.
Chico now.
I like it. Sounds like a good one to me. That's what I would call.
51. Here we go.
2-point lead for Orlando. Minute 44 to go. One timeout left for San Antonio. Woodside wants to throw and does. Flings it out there. It's incomplete. Looking for the running back, Aaron Green. 2nd and 10 upcoming with a minute 39 to go in the half.
Yeah, it's got to be extremely difficult for all players for both teams because we just saw a pretty high energy first half from both of these football teams, and really what I think maybe the best two quarters of football that we've seen here in the Alliance. And then you have basically the air go out of the stadium with that injury to Ryan Davis, and now you got to get back on the field and try and get that energy back.
Here's Woodside. Near side is Green. Green dropped. Coming up to make the tackle there was Mark Myers Jr. 3rd down coming up. Looks like they'll need about a long 4, I'm going to call it. With a minute 31 to play when the clock stopped.
I really like what Woodside has done in this game. You know, they've tried to go downfield a bit, and he's made some good decisions. But I like when it's not there downfield, and he's been able to just dump it out to his backs and put the ball in a place where they can catch it and then still run full speed and do something with it after the catch.
Finished with 93 career touchdown passes in his days as a Toledo Rocket. Fires here, grab made, getting out of bounds there. Another catch for DeMarcus Ayers. He's had some big ones today. That's another big one, 1st down.
Watch number 14, little option route out of the slot. They stack it, and you see that little move at the top of his route. That's what gives him the separation, and perfectly accurate pass again from Woodside. Ayers gets out of bounds, and the Commanders are able to convert. 1 minute, 26 seconds left, right about that 37-yard line, so plenty of time here with one timeout for Woodside to work with.
Woodside field and nearly caught with a right hand by Alonzo Moore. Moore's had a rough day so far, but a lot of game left. Couldn't pull this one in.
This would have been an outstanding catch. Woodside puts it right there on the inside, and Moore just can't make that adjustment to come down with it. That would have been outstanding.
Holding. Defense number 23. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
So late flag, Mark Myers Jr. guilty there.
Come on, Myers!
Come on, Myers. Number 23 in the slot. See, that's an easy call. Right hand just draped all over the jersey of Greg Ward Jr.
51.
I love what Spurt, one of the many things he said to us. He said, hey, I told our guys, you got a bad attitude, you might as well get out of here.
That's good coaching.
It is. I like it. Woodside fires and delivers, and the grab made by the tight end, Evan Rodriguez, father of 4, fourth-round pick of Chicago in 2012.
Yeah, I just referenced it earlier. I like the decision-making from Woodside. Very rarely is he indecisive in holding on to the football. Everything that they're doing in the short, quick passing game, he has been decisive and has not allowed the Apollos pass rush to try and get to him.
Hey, Archie.
11 of 17
Archie, hey,
for 101.
Climb.
Watch the stack over here on your right.
Okay.
And they like to use the stack and run option routes out of it.
Woodside going that way, Arch, and they make the play. And the grab is made by Greg Ward Jr. And they'll move the chains to the 20-yard line.
Same route, different player. Earlier it was Alonzo Moore, and they're using the stack to run the option route. They're trying to use the other receiver to set some pick, and then Myers can't get to the outside breaking route fast enough, and Woodside gives it right on Ward.
Ward 5 for 65 yards in week 1. Catching the rock. San Antonio with 17 first downs now to 8 for Orlando. But Orlando leads into the end zone and broken up. Myers in there with a penalty earlier and comes back and redeems himself there with a breakup in the end zone.
Love this body position from Myers. He listened to Steve Spurrier. He said, come on, Myers. That time, he almost hooks.
That was
Ayers.
Yep.
But I like when he gets into position, what does he do? He turns, looks for the football, and tries to make a play on the ball. Great position, but he almost, he got away with almost a holding call right there when Ayers came out of his break.
Not sure about him this week. Had an upper body injury. Woodside on the run. Woodside. And that's all he could do. Couldn't get the throw away. Forced out of bounds. The clock stopped with 51 seconds to go. And a big third down coming up here for the Commanders of San Antonio.
To me, Ben, the biggest improvement that Woodside has showed from last week is how he's handled pressure this week. Last week under pressure, he only threw 16% completions and 2 interceptions. So far in this game against the Apollos defense, when they pressure him, he's been able to make the right choice and live to play another down.
So timeout taken. San Antonio using its final timeout.
Somebody get Matt.
51 seconds remaining. There's certainly in field goal range, 3rd and 13. What would you do here, Arch, if you're running this offense?
Well, the number one thing, you can't take a sack.
Yep.
You want to maintain your field goal position. They're going to dial up something to the end zone, and if it's not there, then Woodside's going to check it down and let his running back do something after the catch. So they're going to dial something to try and score, but make it so he can just dump it down.
Let's listen to Mike Riley, what he told the offense and Logan Woodside.
You're all right. You're all right. No, don't make a mistake.
So, two points. Steve Spurrier, come
Where's
on,
Matt?
Myers, and Mike Riley, don't make a mistake.
Very calm.
Yeah.
Bingo,
Riley there. Here we go on 3rd and 13. Woodside checks off. It's into the hands of Farrow. Farrow still got it, still on his feet, and knocked out of bounds inside of the 10 at the 9. What a play by Farrow. He has been special in 2 weeks here in the Alliance.
Well, they did exactly what we said they'd do. They dial it up, touchdown, check down, run everybody deep, and then try and isolate your running back on a linebacker. This time, it was Farrow matched up with Terrence Garvin, and you see the difference in speed. Number 51 cannot close the distance, and Farrow is able to use his speed, get to the sideline, and pick up a first down.
So slow to get up there and getting some medical attention. An outstanding linebacker, Terrence Garvin, who is the Alliance Defensive Player of the Week in Week 1, had the first interception in Alliance history. Had 2 picks, took one back 51 yards to the house. Only 10 to him.
Boy, Farrow, after the catch today, has shown great balance and great ability to keep his feet after contact, and that was an excellent effort right there on 3rd and 13. Boy, that is, you've got to be extremely frustrated if you're Bob Sanders, the defensive coordinator, to get an offense in 3rd and 13 and they throw a check down. You should have 2 or 3 linebackers or DBs able to converge on that running back and make the tackle, but nobody was able to get to Farrow, and the Commanders with a first down with 41 seconds to go inside the 10-yard line in great shape.
Farrell with 41 on the ground, 66 total yards and a rushing touchdown.
Yes.
You see the alignment for Logan Woodside.
Bingo, sight.
Woodside, pump fake, thought about it again. Flag flies, throws it into the end zone, just threw it away. There's a penalty, 2 penalty flags down back at the 16, 17-yard line. You heard Spurrier in there.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Jared Jones-Smith, the guilty one.
And number 72, the right tackle on the right side of your screen, engaged with Okine, number 59. Has it taken Steve Spurrier this long to understand that they hold on every play? Come on, ball coach.
He's been around a while, he knows. Here goes Woodside, taking a shot! Oh! Nearly picked off. White with a tip. And 2nd and goal upcoming, Arch.
Boy, this is so well played by White, getting back here in the hole. Zone coverage. Woodside's going to try and hit the hole, but White is all over it and should have made an interception. You played it perfectly. You made a good play. Now go make a great play and end this drive before halftime.
He knew it too.
Bingo, shot.
2nd and goal now. Woodside. Morgan Woodside using his feet. And he gets a lot of it back from the penalty. It'll bring up 3rd and goal here with 18 seconds remaining in the half.
I think the Apollo's defense, Bob Sanders calling cover 2 with the corners in the flat, safeties over the top, and understanding that Woodside is trying to hit the corner routes, and the corners for the Apollo's defense are doing a great job of playing deep to short. Fall back, make Woodside throw it underneath, rally up, and make the tackle, but don't let anything get over your head.
10 for 12 on 3rd down are the Commanders, and Woodside just flings it to the far side just to get rid of it. So they're going to trot on the field goal unit. Are the Commanders.
Dang it, I'm sorry. That wasn't a great.
Orlando wanted the flag for intentional grounding. They don't get it. There is a flag. Yes.
Yeah, I think that
it was late, yeah.
I would say that the Apollos have a great case for intentional grounding.
I would agree.
But Woodside was not avoiding pressure.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 5. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. The foul includes a 10-second runoff. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 2 seconds.
There you go.
2 seconds on the game clock.
Woodside squarely in the pocket, nowhere to throw the ball, and throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So Nick Rose looking for his 2nd field goal. This one from 38, and that one's money. So San Antonio, last play of the half, Arch. They get the lead back. They led 12-0, but Orlando came back, had a 2-point lead.
He didn't get a penalty on that play.
And now San Antonio about 1 at the half.
But we were at the 10, and we moved it back to the 20-yard line.
Thoughts and takeaways from half number one, Arch?
I thought we had a thoroughly entertaining first half of football, and it looked initially like San Antonio might run away with this thing. Steve Spurrier's offense did not come to play to start the game, but they came back strong in the second quarter, and now we got something going.
We do. Down to John Shriffen with the head coach of the Commanders, whose team's on top.
All right, Coach, as planned, you went with both quarterbacks in that first half. How would you assess?
Some good plays, both of them, and Marquise made some good plays with his legs for sure. And then Logan, we had some good drives with him, so I'm happy with him.
Who's going to get the bulk of the snaps in the second half?
We're going to continue to rotate them right now. That's our plan as we speak right this moment.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So the thoughts from Mike Riley, his team on top by 1 here. Good one in week 2 on CBS Sports Network. That's the end of the first half. Coming up, we'll send you to the Alliance All Access halftime report after this.
Expectations are sky high. The atmosphere is sure to be electric.
So check it.
Well, here we go. We're underway. Nice pass. What a move that was.
We can beat you in a lot of ways. Dynamite. Oh, geez. Whoa, it's going to slam. Leaving it all out there. Whoa, what a shot. That's great college basketball.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure. Oh, so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-747-9040. That's 1-800-747-9040.
What is the future? The future's golf. Literally. I just booked a 10:30 tee time and invited all you folks via golf book to come golf with me. First 3 to confirm are in. Who's in? Jonesy's in. Oh, Sarah's in. Woo! It's getting physical, folks. And little Ricky's in. For the rest of you, I don't know, the future's like just not golf. It's the saddest possible thing I can imagine. That's a Fred time.
The crowd is so loud you can't hear them anymore. A cowboy's safety is provided by a few good men. His fistful of rope is the only bond between man and beast. Those 8 seconds go by mighty quick in the house of PBR.
It is halftime at the Alamo Dome, and the San Antonio Commanders are up by 1 point against the Apollos. Kenneth Farrow putting the points on the board first for the San Antonio Commanders with that kind of gnarly touchdown there for the Commanders. Welcome into the Alliance All Access studio. I'm Alex Flanagan alongside Rod Woodson and Terrell Davis. Cynthia Freeland will join us shortly. But TD, the San Antonio Commanders had already a win coming out of week 1, but they're showing up a little bit differently than week 1.
Well, they want to control the football is what they want to do. Be balanced on offense, and we saw that with Kenneth Farrow, the way he ran the ball. And the most important thing is when you're balanced is you're running the rock, you're controlling that ball, and you're keeping the offense who's explosive off the field. Right here, Kenneth Farrow in the flat catches the football. I love this. Get off me. Rod, that's what you got to do. Get off. Oh, he's not down. He's still running. Yeah, that was great now. But watch this. A little read come through. Ball's open. He smells the end zone trying to get in.
Don't hurt yourself.
I know. Just be careful when you do this. Just look at that. Ooh, I think that back is going to be sore tomorrow. But I love the way he's playing. But the most important thing, when they get in the red zone, 2 touchdowns and a field goal today. Last week, 5 times, they had 3 field goals, an interception, and a touchdown, so more efficient in the red zone.
Yeah, and it's really 2 different styles of teams. You have San Antonio is a physical downhill. They have 112 rushing yards already. Then you have Steve Spurrier, where we know he likes to sling that ball all over the place. I mean, they only have 4 rushing yards.
He doesn't like TD's position.
So he really doesn't. I mean, only 4 rushing yards in the first half, and that puts a lot of pressure on Gilbert, who has played extremely well. 9 of 16 for 218 yards, but they got to run the football to take the pressure off the quarterback. And if you can do that, then you got a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Another guy who kind of likes to throw the ball, we're going to see tonight in Mike Martz in the San Diego Fleet, taking on the Atlanta Legends. So that's a nightcap, if you will, that game coming up for you this evening. You guys, when we break that game apart, what are you looking for in that game, TD?
Well, Mike Martz has a very complicated offense. We know that. How fast does this offense adapt to that flow, or does he back things down today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Atlanta. Atlanta didn't really do that much on offense, so they got to get that offense going.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, coming up, we're going to recap, take a look at Saturday for you, and Cynthia Freeland will join us and give us her take on the Saturday action as well.
Hawaii, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice. That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
For the first time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity. Truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
A few big second-half rallies on Saturday. The Arizona Hotshots recovered from a slow start and 3 first-half turnovers. John Wolford throwing, slinging it. Rashad Ross, his go-to receiver there, and Tim Cook scoring a couple of the touchdowns in the second half to secure the win for the Arizona Hotshots against the Memphis Express. They beat them by 2 points in that game. And then the Stallions taking on the Birmingham Iron. It was a defensive battle in this game. And really, this play kind of turned things around. Jamar Summers coming in doing that, ripping that ball, getting it into the end zone, and then Shaheed Salmon following on it. And they score a touchdown in that game. Birmingham winning that one 12-9. And all of this action made head coach Tim Lewis very happy post-game.
Video last night about a dude getting knocked out, right? Getting knocked down, but he didn't get knocked out. He got knocked down, but he didn't quit. 9-0 at halftime. 9-0. And I told you, you learn a lot more about a team when they face adversity. It doesn't necessarily build character, it reveals it. The character I see in this one was a champion.
And so I think out of this weekend so far, we've had 3 consistent players emerge. We're calling them our Saturday stars. Jamar Summers, you saw with that great defensive play of John Wolford leading his team, the Arizona quarterback, and Zach Stacy, our first 100-yard rusher, Cynthia, in this league so far.
Yeah, we love the change of direction from Zach Stacy.
Yeah.
Seeing him kind of maneuver and go inside and work outside as well was a really big switch from some of the kind of one-way directional running we'd seen before that. So that was kind of how he emerged.
All right, so let's look at Saturday and break it down a little bit. So a couple big come-from-behind wins. Why?
So the big thing that's kind of shown up early in this league is that you have a huge advantage if you can complete deep passes. Those 20-yard passes, we've seen them both from the iron. It was sort of a catch, and then the yards after the catch from Rashad Ross. And then on the, on the other side for the hot shots, we saw them with the deep gashes really, through the air. So the air yards, the deep passing, and kind of the yards after contact.
And we're seeing them in this game today as well.
We are, absolutely. All 6 winners so far have had the yards per reception average and the big play, so 20-plus yard reception averages as well.
We all know those explosives make a big difference in the NFL as well. They're important plays. What does it mean about the offense going forward?
So with the 35-second shot clock and as people adapt, so far we've seen a completion percentage over the league under 60%. So I think that's going to go up to more of an NFL number, like a 65, 66%, which is what we've seen the winners really do. But I think we'll start to see people adapt. That 35 seconds is an adaptation for both the quarterback and for the coaches calling the plays.
There's a lot of adapting going on, including a little adapting as well. But listen, TD talked about teams finishing. We're seeing some receivers start to finish in this league, like this play from DeMarcus Ayers. Second half coming your way next.
Masters. It's as great as it gets. The Masters on CBS.
If you don't have life insurance, a final expense insurance plan pays cash to your family for final and all other expenses. If you're unable to purchase life insurance due to a pre-existing or current medical condition, call right now for information and a free consultation. Rates will never increase, the policy cannot be canceled, and there are no restrictions on how your beneficiaries can use the money.
Call for a free prescription discount card.
1-800-485-6914.
Simple question. What are we looking at here? What is that? Gobbledygook. I don't get it. I don't care to. However, what's this? Is that a little sunshine? Golf ball? A brew dog? Don't mind if I do. Boom! Fist bump. Sounds like a pretty good day to me. How'd we get here? Golf book. Super easy. Click. Book the tee time. Click. Send to the inbox. Sunshine. Golf ball. Brew dog. Here it comes. Fist bump. Okay. That's a Fred time.
Here, the crowd is so loud you can't hear them anymore. A cowboy's safety is provided by a few good men. His fistful of rope is the only bond between man and beast. Those 8 seconds go by mighty quick in the house of PBR.
35 points scored in that first half here in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. The Commanders on top of the Apollos of Orlando by 1. Adam Archuleta, Ben Holden, John Triffin with us as well. He's down in the field. Arch, let's get your thoughts and big takeaways from half number 1.
I thought it was a fun half, and the Commanders really, with their offense, great balance, I thought really kind of controlled this game. But the Apollos showing the big play offense and the quick strike ability really to get back in this game has made it an extremely entertaining game. And Commanders getting it started early. Kenneth Farrell for the touchdown. Then backing it up with 1-2, Evan Rodriguez. Garrett Gilbert said, okay, let me air this thing out. A bomb to Charles Johnson and another one to the other side of the field for Johnson. And I think the stats bear this out. Look at the total amount of plays for the Commanders. 48 plays in that first half. The Apollos have to figure out something to stop them on their drives. They've converted way too many third downs so far in this game.
All right, very good. Let's get down to the aforementioned John Triff and Triff.
Well, I'm going to give you guys an injury update on Ryan Davis Sr., who was carted off the field late in that first half. He was taken to San Antonio Military Medical Center, which is about 10 minutes away from here. Now, the good news is that he was responsive in his hands and his feet. He was talking to first responders as he was loaded into the ambulance. And I spoke to Steve Spurrier just a few moments ago. He spoke to the doctor, and the doctor thinks that Davis will be okay, guys.
John, that is tremendous news. We're all happy to hear that. Great work by you, and thanks for the update. Yes, indeed. So, no kickoff, Arch. Ball placement at the 25. Let's play some ball.
You know, it's growing on me and it's wearing on me. I kind of like it.
I do too. With Adam Archuleta, John Schriffen, my name is Ben Holden, all of our great crew, Carlo Generini, our producer, Matt Plundo, our director, Mike Pittman, our AD, and all of our outstanding crew. We're thrilled to have them with us this week as David Cobb starts it. So if you're just joining us, it was San Antonio jumping out to a 12-0 lead before Orlando woke up. Very similar start for Orlando they had last week in terms of their offense, with a slow start, but they came alive, and it's a one-point game, as you can see.
Bingo shot!
Cobb again. He's going to set up a 3rd and short. Orlando player trotting back on the sidelines. 3rd and 2 coming up here in the opening minute of quarter number 3.
Man, to me, this is what it comes down to for Bob Sanders, the defensive coordinator. 3rd downs. San Antonio was 10 for 13 in 3rd downs in that first half, and they specifically did not have an answer to these stacks and these bunch sets. Woodside has had a lot of success.
He really has. Woodside gets rid of it. They find Ayers, and DeMarcus Ayers, he's been big for him. 1st down, San Antonio at the 50.
There's a nasty little move by Ayers, setting up
42
the inside route. Outstanding.
Here we go, here we go.
1st and 10 from midfield.
Bingo shot!
Hand off to Cobb. Linebacker over pursued it, but Cobb able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Giorgio Newberry on the tackle.
Reggie Northrup presses the line of scrimmage, and you see just gets that hand on the face mask of David Cobb. And a little surprised with the success that they had in the first 2 drives of the game, going to Kenneth Farrow, who has 6 carries for 41 yards, that Cobb is the one getting the bulk of the carries here to start the 3rd quarter. But that stack alignment to the left again has been really productive.
Farrell with a touchdown early in the game, started the scoring. Woodside zings one out there, incomplete. And unable to make the grab was Josh Stewart. Coverage applied by Mark Myers. So apparently what Spurrier shouted at him in the first half got him going. He's played well since the penalty, right, Arch?
I'm gonna write that one down.
Write what one down?
Come on, that's some John Wooden stuff, don't you think?
Yeah.
31 single action.
Maybe that's how I can get my kids to do the right thing. Just say, come on, Jeff. Come on, Hawk.
Depends on how old they are.
Yeah.
3rd and 10 from midfield. See if Woodside can convert. Throws it right into coverage. Dropped it right into the waiting arms of DeMarcus Ayers again. And another 1st down for the Commanders.
Watch this bullet from Woodside, right in this tight little window. 3 Apollo defenders, 1 on top, 2 on the side, and he just fires it right there. Perfect spiral, and Ayers goes down to the ground and gets it. That is outstanding job by Woodside, the intermediate passing game, throwing that ball right on the hash mark.
Ayers having a big day. Woodside having a good day. What do we got here? They're trying to trick him on the reverse. And it's Greg Ward Jr. He's a great football player with great speed. Picks up some good yardage there, and it moves the chains again, Arch.
Yeah, Okine has a chance. He sees it. You get a little chip block by Woodside, but Okine has to make that play.
Put Greg in at Z. Put Greg in at Z. Deuce left. 21 Mizzou. Deuce left.
That's exactly what he wanted, Arch.
So Greg Ward Jr. normally plays in the slot. That time, Mike Riley wanted him at the Z specifically to run that play.
Yep.
Bingo shot.
1st and 10. Woodside comes up firing again. Catch is made, but a great stop there immediately. As McKay made the catch, and Marquez White with a good stop there.
Woodside is sharp and precise, and the ball is coming out of his hands very crisply so far in this game. Quick three-step passing game. He sees the off coverage and converts the itch. Excellent play on first down.
Gain of 7, Cobb's the running back.
There's the stack to his left again.
Yep, up top there, he's looking that way, fires, catch made. It's Alonzo Moore, but Reeser there. He was talked about a lot in the first half and makes the play there, bringing up 3rd down.
Really nice play. This is just 2-on-2. And Reeser, love how he's aggressive, comes to balance, and does not allow Alonzo Moore an opportunity to make a move and get extra yards.
5 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter.
3rd and 3, excuse me, Ben, 3rd and 3, and Woodside has had a lot of success in 3rd and short, throwing to his backs and throwing to his tight ends out of the backfield.
Fakes the handoff there, throws it in the end zone, it's caught! Touchdown, but there's a flag down. Mikhail McKay with a catch, there is a flag. As he's shaking hands and posing. But there is a penalty flag at the 13-yard line as they discuss.
No, I didn't see anything.
Ineligible player downfield, number 61, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So the right guard, Fred Luina, easy for me to say, is a guilty one.
Yeah, number 61, you cannot get downfield, and Luina is well past number 61, well past the first down line. And that's something that you can get away from or get away with in college football, but in the National Football League, you cannot get more than 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. Good pickup by this officiating crew.
Indeed. So it's 3rd down here.
Bingo, shot!
Bingo, and they go Woodside in the end zone! And Ayers almost came up with that. Hill was in there. Northrup involved in the play too.
Oh, and Woodside is not afraid of the aggressive throw. Really a nice job by Reggie Northrup. He's playing the inside hook. And Woodside, I mean, I like it. Aggressively, he's decisive, and he's letting it rip. That was just a great play by Northrup.
So a 37-yard attempt for Rose, who's 2 for 2. And he's got the hat trick. 3 for 3 for the 2nd straight week. 21-17 San Antonio. The Alliance of American Football app is #1 in both the Google and Apple stores. And if you download it now, all sorts of Easter eggs hidden in it. Let's take a look.
First time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity, truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available in the App Store and Google Play today.
So after the field goal from Rose, it's now a 4-point lead. And Orlando in the 2nd quarter did heavy damage. 17 points, 210 yards, added for 7.5 minutes. And Garrett Gilbert, Dearness Johnson's in the backfield. And Dearness Johnson gets it, and the ball came out, but I believe he was down. I believe the whistle had sounded. Sean Washington on the stop.
Well, Deion Barnes, number 94, runs a game. or excuse me, that's not 94, that's number 54. Sean Washington runs a stunt inside and just almost makes a great play by getting that ball out, but that play had no chance from the start because Washington was all over it.
He had the huge hit on Mike Bercovici last week, had over 5 million hits on social media, knocked his head off his helmet anyways as Johnson goes again, flag comes in. We'll check the marker and check in with James Carter momentarily, our referee.
Holding. Offense number 80. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
And the tight end, Sean Price.
It's number 80 on the left side of your screen, and you can see that he gets his arms around Jaron Elliott, the outside linebacker. You know, Ben, this was a fantastic big play passing attack in the first half, but they've got to get this run game going. Before this drive, they came into the second half with only 5 rushing attempts, and their defense has been on the field today for 58 plays, so they've got to extend this drive.
They do. Gilbert, the ball stripped out, picked up, and taken back for a touchdown. Joey Mbu. The scoop and the score after the strip of Gilbert, and San Antonio's defense, 6 sacks a week ago, 3 picks. They come up huge here, and it's a 10-point lead.
Obvious passing situation, outside speed rush coming from Gilbert's left side. And just such a good job by getting around the corner. Getting that ball out, you got a scoop and score. And another big play for this defense, a defense that a week ago really poured it on in the second half of that game, and here they go, they do it again, giving them a 27-17 lead.
They go for 2. Woodside fires into the end zone, and it's Rodriguez. A touchdown and a 2-point catch. And Garrett Gilbert, his guys now down by 12 again with 8:10 to go in the third.
Logan Woodside, San Antonio Commander defense changing the game. Strip sack, 2 points, 29-17.
8:10 remaining in the third quarter. San Antonio on top by 12. Our Skycam today is brought to you by Wheels Up. Wheels Up here in San Antonio, man. This team looks good, Arch. My goodness.
Wow, what a start.
Jaron Elliott was the one that got the strip. Joey Mbu took it back for the 6. Akeem Hunt lined up in the backfield, but they come out throwing. Gilbert, low throw, catch is made, or was it? Hit the ground. No catch. Renell Hall, and how's that for dominance? They look very good here. Now, albeit you still got a quarter and a half to play, but they look pretty good.
Well, 2 things that stand out. Their secondary, they've got to stop giving up the big play outside. They take care of the big play. The front 7 has had an outstanding game, and I think for me, outside of the big play, it's the Apollo's inability to run the ball and sustain these drives that's really hurting them right now.
Take the handoff. Gilbert's under pressure again, and the Austin, Texas native is flat on his back, looking up. Sean Washington, first man in there, and the Commander fans love it.
Blitz inside, and a week ago, Garrett Gilbert really did a nice job of dealing with pressure. A delayed blitz Gilbert doesn't see it. He's forced to spin out of the pocket, can't keep his balance. And the front seven here for the Commander, Jim Grove, the defensive coordinator, is starting to come alive and take over this game. Now it's 3rd and 13.
Orlando 1 of 3 on 3rd down. Gilbert's got a ton of time, taking a deep shot. Out there! And there's a penalty flag as they look downfield to Hall. Double coverage, but a penalty flag thrown. Smith on the coverage, one of those in there.
Pass interference. Defense number 3. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
Number 3?
33. Zach Sanchez.
Zach Sanchez.
Yep, the Oklahoma boy.
You see just a light touch of the arm. Do not like that call one bit.
Well, you can read lips. Neither did Mike Riley.
Yeah, Zach Sanchez just barely touches the arm, and they call pass interference, and Gilbert is bailed out.
Kevin Anderson, the former Fordham quarterback, comes in. He was recruited and played for Joe Moorhead, now the head coach at Mississippi State. 4th round pick.
I thought Kevin Anderson, if he doesn't jump and go inside, there was a lane, and he could have hit this for a big play. But I thought he made his cut too fast, but if we got a chance to see that replay, Steve Spurrier had a chance for a big play on the outside.
Gain of 4. Garrett Gilbert back in the game. Gilbert dumps it off over the middle. Catch is made by Charles Johnson. He has had a monster day, making quite a case for Offensive Player of the Week in the Alliance this week. He's north of 100, and he's got another first down for the Apollos.
Well, I like what they do. Charles Johnson, number 12, on the right side of your screen. Now they put him inside, and they're going to isolate him on a linebacker. You've seen what he's been able to do when they get him on a cornerback. That time he was on the linebacker, number 57, Joel Lanning, runs an option route, and there's nobody to tackle him after the catch.
Charles Johnson, 5 grabs for $158.
Hey, you can bumper here.
First Alliance player with over 130 receiving yards. Gilbert dumps it off. Gets it into the hands of Akeem Hunt. Hunt still on his feet. And he's taken out of bounds inside of the 5 by Lanning once again. First and goal upcoming for Orlando here.
What a drive. Just when you think the Apollos, they're on their heels.
Yep.
Gilbert and the offense respond. Now, granted, they were bailed out by, in my eyes, a phantom pass interference. But these last 2 plays, you just got to love how they just keep coming back.
This is Hunt. Akeem Hunt trying to get free, and he can't. He's dropped. What a job by San Antonio, yeah. Bowing up there is Nick Temple and company, and Tyrone Holmes.
Yeah, watch. This is how you set the edge. Hunt trying to get outside, and just a great job on the edge. Can't quite get a read on that. That's Jaron Elliott, who had the strip sack earlier. Gets off the block, goes flat down the line of scrimmage, and there's nowhere outside for Akeem Hunt to run the football.
You think they're nuts about this team here in San Antonio? My goodness. 2nd and goal now. Yep, delay of game looks to be the case as Gilbert did not get the play off. And that crowd that's all over him.
Delay of game. Offense number 3. The opportunity. 2nd down.
That crowd had everything to do with that. It's loud in here.
They're really impressed. Really impressed with the crowd. I got to tell you, as a defensive player, when you got an opportunity to play defense in front of a crowd that's fired up, it makes all the difference in the world. It is a great feeling to be on that football field and hear the crowd chanting for you to succeed.
9 penalties on Orlando. Gilbert going right into that crowd. Marshall, he's going to throw it. They try to throw back to him. Marshall fires, and it's incomplete. They wanted to run the Orlando special again there, it looked like, because he was looking at Charles Johnson, and the head ball coach didn't get that one to work out.
Yeah, you know, and I don't love this play call in this situation. There's not a lot of options. I thought San Antonio did a really good job of covering it, but I think this is a great example of a football team that can't run the football, becoming one-dimensional. And you start to run out of passing plays. And everything that has been successful for the Apollos in this game has been vertical routes down the field. They don't have a great short or intermediate passing game to work inside the 15-yard line.
Timeout taken by Orlando. You can see the frustration on Steve Spurrier's face. With 4 minutes to go, a big 3rd and goal upcoming when we resume play with just 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. And a 12-point lead for San Antonio. They've led by 12 twice. They started the game up 12-0. The defensive touchdown by Joey Mbu expanded the lead.
So right now, Ben, the Apollos have 8 yards rushing. And you can see when they don't have the ability to stretch the defense and stretch the field, they have a really tough time now generating some plays. San Antonio is now getting after it on the edge. The tackles for the Apollos are having a hard time blocking the speed rush, and so Steve Spurrier has to design a play here that gets the ball out of Gilbert's hands quickly so they can avoid the rush and still try and pick up 13 yards to try and get in the end zone.
It is 3rd and goal. Empty backfield, Gilbert fires, catch made near side. Not gonna get there. Davion Smith got dropped. What do you do here, Art? Do you go for it or do you get the points?
I think you gotta get points. You gotta get points.
All right.
You gotta make this a 9-point football game because you really haven't shown the ability or should have the confidence that you can pick up an easy 4 yards in this situation. Right now, San Antonio's defense is playing a really nice lockdown brand of defense. And at this point, get your points, still have an opportunity with more than a quarter left to play in the game.
24-yard attempt, Ben Turk will hold. Good snap, and the kick is up and through. And it's a 9-point game. And the Spurrier's guys get points. 3:12 remaining in the 3rd. We got a great one here in San Antonio.
We're family. We do anything for each other. But this time, those bonds were definitely tested.
Frog leg for my baby brother.
Don't frogs have like 2 legs? So they should have 2 of these. Since I'm active duty and she's family, I was able to set my sister up with a sweet membership from Navy Federal. If you hold it closer, it looks bigger.
Eat your food.
My big sis likes to make tiny food, and I'm okay with that.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the men.
3:12 to go in the 3rd quarter. Field goal from Elliott, and it's time now to take a look at our Navy Federal Credit Union QE comparison. Arch.
I think you got to be happy with both quarterbacks. Logan Woodside, let's start out with him, has really done a nice job in his decision-making, being decisive. Good mix of being aggressive, but not too careless with the football. And when you look at Gilbert, it's really largely been the 248 yards has been the big play. 133 of those yards, or excuse me, 150 of those yards are to Charles Johnson. And so I think right now, for the Apollos, they've got to develop a more balanced offense. You've got to run the ball and be more consistent in the short to intermediate passing game because you cannot rely on just big plays down the field.
Woodside hands off to Farrell, and Farrell bursting through the middle. First down run. Jerome Coughlin made the stop, but he moves the chains. No problem running it for San Antonio. 13-yard pickup.
Yeah, Farrell has really enjoyed the benefit of running behind number 73. His right guard, Cyril Richardson. That's the 2nd time today on a play up the middle. He's been able to get up to the linebacker and provide the lane.
7 carries, 54 yards for Kenneth Farrell. Home state product. Again, taken on defenders. There's a flag, though, back at the far side 37-yard line, so we'll have to check that first. San Antonio was outstanding as we've documented in week 1. They've been outstanding this week, but this week their offense is putting up points, just 15 last week and 1 touchdown.
Illegal formation against the offense. Number 88 was covered on the play. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So that's Evan Rodriguez.
Yeah, right here is the wide receiver. You cannot cover up the tight end. You both can't be on the line of scrimmage to the same side of the ball. Illegal formation, and a little lapse in detail work there negates a big play on first down.
First and 15 now. So John Schriffen told us, and we heard from him earlier in talking to Mike Riley, gave a series to Marquise Williams, the second quarterback in the first half. Woodside's been in there both here so far. Northrup, the big tackle there.
Well, Reggie Northrup is having a pretty good game here. And the mark of a good linebacker is how many plays do they make at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. Number 52, he just runs the lane, and he makes contact with Farrell before he could reach the line of scrimmage. That is excellent. Remember, Northrup made that big play, the big pass breakup on the goal line. So both doing it today in their run game as well as the pass game in coverage.
David Cobb in. Woodside fakes. Woodside taking a shot. Got his man out there. Broken up. Beautiful play. Outstanding job by Reeser there on the coverage. He has been busy today. They look for Josh Stewart, 3rd and 16 coming up.
Yeah, I thought if Woodside, if he puts this ball more towards the hash mark or the middle of the field, then they would have had a chance at the big play. There was no free safety, but because the ball hung up in the air, Reeser was able to make that play on the ball. So that was a rare miss by Woodside, who could have had a big play because they got the matchup that they were looking for against the right defense.
San Antonio averaging 5.9 on 3rd down. This time they need 16. Woodside, man open, overthrew him. And unable to come up with that catch there was Evan Rodriguez, so they'll bring on the punt group with 80 seconds to play in the quarter.
Yeah, another missed opportunity. I really like the design of this passing concept with the tight end running a switch route up the seam. And I couldn't tell, either Rodriguez bent the ball inside where he was supposed to stay upfield, or Woodside threw it too much to his outside, but a blown opportunity. 2 in a row there for the Commanders offense.
Zeman booted away high, punt, fair catch called for inside the 20 by Dearness Johnson. The minute 11 to go in the quarter. It's been a huge day, Arch, for Charles Johnson of Orlando.
Yeah, 5 catches, 158 yards. Really utilizing the double move. The first time going at Bosby, the second time going to the other side, and then, okay, we're going to put them inside. We're going to go to work on your linebackers. Run a little option route and let him get that ball in his hands after the catch. But what a day, what a stat line. 158 yards, and we haven't even seen the 4th quarter.
Yep. Most receiving yards in the early stages of the alliance. Flag flies. Flag down back, or in front of the play, I should say. 38-yard line. Davion Smith with a ball there, but
too many men on the field.
Yep. Saw that, what, twice in the first half.
By both teams.
Right. 12 men on the field against the defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Here's the word with 64 seconds to go in this quarter.
Right there. We got to hustle. Get off the field. Right. Come on. Come on, whoever that is.
I think we got to go back to that HD.
There's there in the ear of his head coach, Mike Riley.
The spread formation. They love 4 verticals out of this set.
Here's Gilbert. He's going to fling it downfield. Got his man. Catch made. Chris Thompson. Stopped by Jordan Thomas, but a monster gain.
Watch the separation about 20 yards down the field. Right there. Great separation as he runs right by Jordan Thomas. And Gilbert again, the big play right now for Jim Grove's defense has to be extremely frustrating. They have played a really good game inside the hash marks, but outside these cornerbacks have given up big plays.
54-yard pass play, Davion Smith. Tough run in San Antonio. That defense getting after it. And that's the end of the third. And a 9-point lead for San Antonio. Garrett Gilbert and Orlando, they'll talk things over. That's the end of the quarter. You're watching the Alliance on CBS Sports Network.
Expectations are sky high. The atmosphere is sure to be electric.
So check it.
Well, here we go. We're underway.
Nice pass. What a move that was.
He can beat you in a lot of ways. Dynamite. Now, geez. Whoa, it's going to slam. Leaving it all out there. Whoa, what a shot. That's great college basketball.
This is a special report for people who want the facts about reverse mortgages without the hype. You've seen a lot of commercials telling you how you can turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. But do you really know if a reverse mortgage loan can help you? Call today. For a limited time only, we'll send you a free special report. There's no obligation, and the call is free. So don't delay.
Call 1-800-418-2734. That's 1-800-418-2734.
Technical question. Is this fella golfing? This fella right here? Does he appear to be golfing to you? Is that golf?
That's not golfing.
Correctamundo. That's not golf. That's a bunch of malarkey. Trying to get a hold of his knucklehead buddies, seeing if they're going to make the tee time, when he should have just busted out golf book, zip, zap, zoop, bop. You book it. You confirm the foursomes. None of this malarkey. You don't need it in your life. Life is hard. Mortgage, kids, gluten, etc. That's Fred talk.
The crowd is so loud you can't hear him anymore. A cowboy's safety is provided by a few good men. His fistful of rope is the only bond between man and beast. Those 8 seconds go by mighty quick in the house of PBR.
At the best pictures so far. Appreciate our tape room putting that together, and our score by quarter. What a game this has been, Adam.
Yeah, how about the Apollo so far in this game? 3 passes over 50 yards from Garrett Gilbert, and it's really been about the only play that has worked. The Commanders cannot stop the fade route from the Apollos.
Davion Smith, they go back to Gilbert. That doesn't trick him at all. Winston Craig sniffed it out. Big loss.
Wow, trick play in the high red area. Number 96 this time reads it. Second time today, Steve Spurrier trying to reach into his bag of tricks. And Craig demolishes Trey Jackson, who is one of the best guards in the Alliance. There was no chance right there. And again, somebody from the defensive front of the Commanders making a big play. That was a huge mistake, huge play for the Apollos, now pushed back on their 30-yard line.
And movement here, so 10 sacks for San Antonio in 7 quarters of football.
Neutral zone infraction. 93 of the defense, causing the offensive player to move. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Arthur Miley, the guilty party there.
Man, look, I get it. I love Steve Spurrier. I love the fun. I love how he's aggressive on offense. But I think twice now in the last 2 drives, opting for trick plays when they're in the low and the high red area, they've really hurt their offense.
See what they do here. Gilbert throws it into the corner. And it's taken away as he inbounds. And they say no. Darren Smith was over there. Let's look back, Arch.
Well, number 32 getting off that hash mark. control the ball, left foot down, and hand out of bounds, and wow. Great range from the free safety, Deron Smith, to get over there. But that was brought on by, in my eyes, a poor choice of a trick play.
Flag from 42, but flag came in.
Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? I was watching the line.
False start. Offense from the 64. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So it'll be a 47-yard attempt. Jordan McCray, the one that moved.
He can't do that. He ought to be kicked out.
But he didn't see his player.
Right. So Fry from 47. No question about it. So Orlando gets points. They get to within a touchdown now. It's 29-23.
You know, coaches only see when the other team does something wrong.
Right.
They don't like to look in the mirror.
Exactly. Next Sunday at 4 Eastern, the Alliance rolls on as 2-0 Birmingham. They hit the gridiron down in Atlanta. We'll see the Legends on our air for the first time on the Sunday package here. We had them in the opening game of the Alliance with Orlando, but that's our game next Sunday at 4.
All righty, let's see what's the response. I know Mike Riley would love to get that running game going here and grind on that Apollo's defense.
Farrell, he's been good. Nice fake there. Stiff arm. And Garvin took him down. But a tough run for Farrell there. He has looked really good today.
He has shown a good combination. First patience and then a little jump cut. Patience to watch the blocking develop. And watch this little cut right there, making the extra defender miss in the open field. And I love what I see from Farrell today. That balance, breaking tackle ability, and reading the blocks. He's been outstanding.
He made Gunter miss on the ground again. It's Farrell one more time. And they pick up what they needed on 2nd and 1 to move the chains in the first 2 minutes here of the 4th quarter. 10 carries in the ball game for Farrell now. North of 60 yards on the ground.
So far today, Ben, the Commanders have run for 157 yards.
Let's go. Let's go.
Which is a pretty good combination of running to passing balance.
Another flag down at the 30-yard line.
The offense broke the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
I think as we go along, see less and less of that, but really no excuse, I suppose. Kind of know when you're supposed to be out there, right?
I think that's part of the job description, right? I think that's like 1A.
Yes.
Know when you're supposed to be out there.
31 single Hank Vice. I'm bingo ready.
So 1st and 15 after the penalty.
1. Bingo shot.
10 on Orlando, 9 on San Antonio. Here's Woodside. Woodside! Dangerous throw there, but as you said earlier, RT is not afraid to stick that ball into real tight windows.
Yeah, but you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure that you have the right read, and I'm not sure exactly what he saw. There is not a lot of separation there, and it was a poor throw inside with a lot of congestion. So, you know, the last drive I thought he missed on 2 throws, and here a little errant there on a little hitch route. So Woodside was pretty tight with his game here in the first 3 quarters, but is getting a little loose here in the last part of this game.
Commanders have had really good balance. Farrell the carry, he's gang tackled. It was 2nd and 15 there. It's going to be a 3rd and long, and a big one coming up with a 6-point lead now for San Antonio.
The wide receiver du jour today for Woodside has been DeMarcus Ayers, number 14. He's thrown at him 8 times. He's had 5 catches for 80 yards. He was inactive last week. You know, one guy we really haven't heard his name a lot is Mikhail McKay, who was targeted 12 times last week. This might be a good time to target the big wide receiver.
Big play, McKay. Floated out there, and the receiver that was down the field wasn't even aware the ball was there. Brings up 4th down. O'Kine with the pressure on Woodside. So they'll bring on Zima to boot it away once again here. And Orlando will get it back with a chance to even things up and eventually, they hope, take the lead. Ernest Johnson back inside of his 20-yard line. Waiting the punt from Zima. Johnson from the 16. Short return, picks up about 4, maybe 5 on the run back. And with 11:14 to go in the game, Garrett Gilbert and Orlando have it when we come back.
Here's the thing. 52% of guys experience erectile dysfunction, but 0% like talking about it. That's why we built Roman. For the first time ever, you can get ED meds prescribed online, shipped discreetly to your door. Chat online with U.S. licensed physicians and get FDA-approved medications, all in single-dose packaging. No more waiting rooms, awkward talks, or lines at the pharmacy. Get started with your free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV.
A lot of time left. It's a 6-point lead for San Antonio. 29-23. Orlando with the football after the punt. 29,176.
Question, Ben.
What do you got?
If you're Steve Spurrier, what play do you call right now?
I'd take a shot.
Oh, you would throw the ball in a streak route right down the field?
Just somewhere downfield, deep.
I think that's a good choice. If there was predictive prop bets, I would put my money on streak.
Gilbert. Short route, dumped it off. Grab made by Scott Orndorff, one of their tight ends. Short pickup.
So right now, if I'm Jim Grove, I'm telling my secondary, keep everything in front of you. Make this football team be patient. They have not shown the ability to be patient and have success driving the ball down the field. Everything that they've done here is letting their wide receivers run right by our cornerbacks and our safety. So you've got to stay on top of the route and force them to throw it underneath.
2nd and 7, Gilbert. Grab made by Charles Johnson to the 40-yard line. What a day he's having. 6 catches now for 174.
Yeah, it really is. Watch Gilbert with pressure right in his face. And that is a tough ball to throw. Curl route, pressure in his face, and he gets the ball out of his hands on time. And Johnson, again, is proven to not be coverable here for the Commanders' defense.
He has been dynamite. Inside of 10 to go in the ball game. Gilbert fires, catch made. Once again, it's Johnson. Charles Johnson, another grab, and another first down for Orlando.
Really the exact same route to the other side. They ran it to the right side. This time it's to the left. Johnson, look, you can see right now that the Commanders are staying deep. They do not want to get beat. They don't want the ball thrown over their head. And so there's a lot of cushion out there, and there is a big window for Gilbert to throw the ball into. Now, I'm telling you, they're setting up the double move. You've seen a couple curl routes. Watch for the curl and go. Watch for the stutter and go as they throw the ball downfield again.
Here goes Gilbert. Checks off to the back. And the catch made by Sean Price. Beg your pardon, one of their tight ends there, Price, that stayed in there, but he made the grab on first down. Second and 7 upcoming. Davion Smith there behind Garrett Gilbert.
Green 10, green 10!
Gilbert Good throw, good catch. It's reeled in there by Chris Thompson. Second catch here in the second half for him. First down, Orlando.
They keep running the same. They've run this play 3 times on this drive. Slot formation, 2 receivers to one side with a backside tight end. They're max protecting everybody to get time for Gilbert to get the ball out of his hands, and they're just running a deep curl. Slot formation, this time 2 receivers to the right, and a max protection set. Look for the same thing.
On 1st and 10. Open man catch! Touchdown! Jalen Marshall. And we are tied up as he beat Curtis Drummond with 7:49 to go. Tied at 29, Arch.
You've got to see this if you're Drummond. You've got to stay deep to short. You see how they entice him with the underneath coverage, and then Gilbert spots the corner out right behind him for the touchdown.
He got him! Here go. All right.
23-yard catch for Jalen Marshall. Orlando looking to go on top. The try for 2. Gilbert under pressure! And they don't get it. They got it to Johnson, but the pressure was applied by Jaron Elliott. So we are tied at 29. With 7:49 to go in this one. Here, Adam. Gilbert, the touchdown to tie it up to Jalen Marshall. Great finish and score here in San Antonio. So from the 25, San Antonio's got the football after the touchdown on the pass from Garrett Gilbert to Jalen Marshall.
Well, I got to tell you, Gilbert in love with the deep ball today and in love with Charles Johnson, who has just been absolutely dynamite. They have been attacking this Commander secondary all day long, big play after big play. I mean, they're averaging over 8.7 yards per play in this offense. Unbelievable. Look at that, 381 yards, and they just keep dropping bombs on this secondary.
Bingo, shot!
Aaron Green in the backfield gets the football. San Antonio goes back to work, so we've seen only Logan Woodside here in this second half. Marquise Williams came in for a series in the first half. There he is. But Mike Riley has stuck with Woodside here the entire half thus far.
51. Here we go.
Little stack formation to the left. They've had a lot of success with option routes.
Woodside coming away. It's intercepted! Intercepted! And taken back for the touchdown! Keith Reeser, the pick six. 2 games and 2 pick sixes for the Orlando Apollo defense.
Well, how many times have we said it today? Stack routes, and they're running options. Reeser, watch how he gets out of his back pedal. He sees it. He just breaks on the ball, undercuts it, and then goes the other way. Outstanding job of understanding what's going to come your way and then making a huge play.
Huge play indeed, and wow, big time. 6-point lead, 35-29.
Yeah, Woodside started off hot in this game, but his last 4 or 5 throws have not been good throws, and none bigger than that one right there with a pick six by Reeser.
Huge timeout taken by Orlando as we look back one more time, Arch.
Oh. He knows it's coming. Great patience in his back pedal. And as soon as the route declares, he just sticks his foot, plants, drives on the football, and finishes the play.
Product of Miami, Florida. Played his college ball at Florida Atlantic. 30 games in the National Football League. 5th-round pick of the 49ers in 2015. And strong showing here today.
Yeah, it was terrific last week as well.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to see from your corners. You got to make a play, and he made it.
So the try for 2 here for Garrett Gilbert.
Watch the isolation here to the left.
Right there they go, and that's an easy one for him as they get it into the hands of Vernell Hall for the 2-point conversion. And it's 37-29 Orlando. And Reeser with a pick 6 helping him with that.
Little natural pick. Really well done, really well executed. Little traffic right there, and all you need is an accurate pass. The Apollos are right back into it.
What a look.
Unbelievable game that we have. It's funny because as soon as you think that San Antonio is capturing some momentum, the Apollos just keep coming back and making plays.
20 straight points for Orlando. Woodside back in the game. Now he's got to make a play. Dumps it off. Was nearly picked off by Garvin, who had a pick 6 last week. The intended target was Aaron Green, who bobbled it.
It was almost on the same type of play. The pick 6 came on a screen pass where the ball was tipped, and Garvin, that could have been back-to-back pick 6s, and Garvin knows. Oh, man. But right now from Woodside, what you want to see is how does he bounce back? Because right now they need a big drive from him. And in his last 2 drives, he has not played his best football. But what can he do right now with 6 minutes and 55 seconds left when his football team needs him to make a play?
No question. Floats one up here. There's McKay. Comes up with a catch. McKay. Big play, McKay. They get it. You said it earlier, Art, and they go to him to get it here.
This is what you want to see from McKay. A huge target, press coverage. And he just wins the route at the line of scrimmage. Great job, high points the football, and when you have a big frame like that, 6'3", 206 pounds, one-on-one with the defensive back, his back to you, go up, make a play, and that's exactly what he did.
29-yard pickup inside of Orlando territory. Woodside fires, open man, catch is made. Inside of the 25, the 20 goes Alonzo Moore. Here come the Commanders.
Great job, max protection. He's going to come all the way backside and hit the dig route. Look, scan it, and he sees Alonzo Moore come roping right over the hash, or right in the middle of the field between the hash marks, and throws a strike. Back-to-back, big-time throws for Woodside, and now they're at the 20-yard line.
Aaron Green, the back for Woodside. Snaps, fires. Grab made on that far side by Josh Stewart. Stewart's only in his 3rd year of football. He's a basketball player at UTSA here in San Antonio.
Here we go. Hip stack, 22-10 bubble. I'm bigger. Ready?
Well, I hear it stack.
Let's go.
And I hear bubble. So look for something out here in the bubble screen variety. Maybe a screen and go.
All right.
Bingo, shot.
Aaron Green, the back. Green gets it into his breadbasket. Tough run by Green there. And Green gets the first down. The San Antonio product. He was tackled by Terrence Parks, but not before he sets up 1st and goal.
So what he's doing is reading this guy. If he comes in, they're going to throw the bubble. If he goes out, they're going to hand it off. And he makes the right choice. And they pick up positive yardage.
Get set.
4.5 to go in the 4th.
Hey, here we go. Bingo, shot.
Barrow. Garvin the first to meet him. Got some help from Jerome Copeland as well.
Farrell continuing to having a good game with his vision, with his patience, and with his ability to finish the run upon contact, either breaking the tackle or falling forward and getting positive yards. Excellent game here today for Kenneth Farrell as the focal point for the Commanders' rushing attack.
Got 12 carries, 74 yards, had the game's first touchdown. Farrell gets it again here. But Orlando stacking him up. Huge play, 3rd and goal. Is it 4-down territory here?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 minutes and 39 seconds left, and you're down by 8 points. So right now, you've got to have your best 2 plays. Really 3 plays if you want to pick up the 2-point conversion.
Right.
The way they're running the football, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to run the football here and go right at the Apollo's defense.
Farrell's the back. 12 of 18 on 3rd down. Woodside looking to throw. Floats it into the corner. And McKay was the intended target. Tough one there. They don't come up with 4th and goal now.
A tough play, but well defended by the Apollos. And what a job outside by the cornerback. Wow, number 27.
Rip is right.
But here you go. It's 4th and goal.
Rip deuce right, 32 scat, spy bay, I'm being ready.
So Scat tells me that it's going to be 5 receivers out, running back, with 5 receivers out with a quick pass.
4th and goal. San Antonio down by 8. Timeout taken by Spurrier and Orlando. So you heard him say, short a guy in the field there, it sounded like. So Orlando's out of timeouts. What do you think San Antonio is going to do here?
Well, right now, Mike Riley, based on that play call, they're expecting pressure or they're expecting man-to-man defense. So they're going to send out 5 receivers, including their running back in a passing route, hopefully get a matchup on a linebacker, and that's where Woodside is going to go. That's the anticipation here for Mike Riley as he calls that play.
So an 8-point game, and those new to the alliance, no point afters. You have to go for 2.
32 scat, spy bay, I'm being ready.
All right, Adam, 4th and goal. This could be it for San Antonio. But they do have all 3 of their timeouts.
Bingo, shot!
Woodside looks right now, comes back left, tapped and incomplete. Incomplete, it goes over on downs. Ladarius Gunter making the play for the Apollo defense.
Well, here you go. Gunter, the left corner, the right corner, playing man coverage on his man, but then he's in position, reads the eyes of Woodside, and falls inside to make the play. Wow, what a great job. Red zone defense by Bob Sanders' defense when they needed to make a play twice in a row to step up and force the turnover on downs.
Huge stop, as I mentioned. San Antonio with all 3 timeouts. They toss it here to Dearness Johnson. Dearness Johnson gets a 1st down. Huge play, great cutback. Orion Stewart, the tackle, but a 1st down.
That, if you are a Commanders fan, is a backbreaker. Under 3 minutes left with all your timeouts and on 1st down backed up. Wow, you allow Dearness Johnson to cut back on your defense against the grain, get upfield and pick up the 1st down. Critical play, critical run for an offense that has not been able to run the ball today to pick up that 1st down.
Yeah, great point, Arch. They really have it. They're going to try and do it again here. And again, turning and burning in there is Dearness Johnson. Product of South Florida, finished his career playing for Charlie Strong. And a timeout's been taken by San Antonio. They've got 2 left.
Wow.
Two left plus the 2-minute warning. Second half's been full of highlights, Arch.
It really has. Much like a week ago, the Commanders' defense looked like they were going to get it started. But what a response. Garrett Gilbert continuing to strike at that Commanders' defense. And again, for the second game in a row, a pick six for the Apollos. Last week it was Terrence Garvin, the defensive player of the week. This time it's Keith Reeser. And I tell you what, this game has had no shortage of big plays and highlights, both on offense and on defense. It's been outstanding.
It really has. 2nd and 3. Dearness Johnson stays in. He got him out of the hole with that great run. That back-to-back carries has Dearness Johnson.
Green time!
They feed him again. Johnson finds a hole, gets through there, puts his head down. And takes it out for another first down. Nick Orr stopped him, but Dearness Johnson takes us to the 2-minute warning. Orlando on top by 8.
Come on, Hawaii, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice. That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards credit card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
2-minute warning along with Adam Archuleta, John Schriffen. My name is Ben Holden. It's time now to take a look at our MGM Resorts Play of the Game. Arch, I know you like this one.
I sure do. Love defenses taking over, and that time, go back to the well, little option route. Keith Reeser is all over it, breaks, drives on the ball, and gives his team 6 points.
2 minutes to go, so Orlando has 51 yards rushing in the game, but they have 30 on this drive already, Arch.
And that's pretty unbelievable for a football team that has not been able to run the ball. And basically a 2-minute or kill the clock mode to be able to ice it is huge.
Toss it again. This is Dearness Johnson. They fed him every time on this drive. San Antonio keeps him in bounds. They've got 2 TOs left. Make it 1 now with 1:52 to go. They just took another one.
You got to be careful with the outside perimeter run game, because the last thing that Steve Spurrier wants is for his running back to make a mistake, go out of bounds, and gift the Commanders a free timeout.
Right. Dearness Johnson there, getting hydrated. Garrett Gilbert north of 300 yards. You see the timeout situation. You're right, this game's had everything. What a blast it's been, man.
It really has. It's been very enjoyable.
Yep. Dearness Johnson stays in. Woodside hoping he gets another chance. Gilbert 381 through the air. He's going to put it up here. At least he wants to. Garrett Gilbert back in his home state with a tough run there. And he sets him up for 3rd and short.
Wow.
Temple to tackle, Nick Temple to tackle. Final timeout for San Antonio.
I am really surprised that they called a pass play right there, but a heads-up play by Gilbert. Nothing there, don't try and force it. Take the ball on a quarterback keep and force San Antonio to call that timeout. Really surprised that they threw the ball, but a heads-up play for Gilbert, not only to keep it, but to get upfield and pick up 8 yards to make it 3rd and 2.
We can run double right, we can run 13 blocks.
Yeah, I was surprised too when that play started. They're 1 of 5 on 3rd down. Average they need is 11. They can essentially put this one away if they get a first down here. San Antonio out of timeouts.
Green 10, green 10! 7 on! Hey, Baltimore Louie! Baltimore Louie! Baltimore Louie! Green 10, green 10! 7 on!
Dearness Johnson outside, puts his foot in the ground. Look at this young man run inside of the 40-yard line. Dearness Johnson stopped by Joel Lanning, but a big pickup and a first down for Dearness Johnson.
Yep, I think Johnson has made a case for more carries next week. Wow. Great read, great anticipation, and know where the defense is. And on 3rd and 2, man, so many things about this Apollos offense. They couldn't run the ball for 3.5 quarters. They couldn't convert on 3rd downs for 3.5 quarters. But when they had to, they've done exactly that here to kill the clock and seal the win.
They have, and Gilbert in the victory formation, and Orlando is going to improve to 2-0. Logan Woodside and San Antonio will drop to 1-1. And what a game this was.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't say it enough, folks. This is the Alliance.
We're never out of it.